Hello. Yeah, I need to open it. I am sorry, I am a little eepy. I did sleep pretty well despite, I don't know why that happened, Lamau. That was kind of funky. Alright, that was weird. I don't know why I did that. Hi, wait, I thought, wait, Dolphins and Rom, I thought you weren't gonna be here today. Hello? I had it marked that both of you were not gonna be here today, and I was like, huh? Good morning, evening. It's like afternoon, right? When technically does evening start? I always thought like 5 for some reason. Hi, everyone. Gasp! I told you yesterday, huh? What, that you were gonna be here? Is that Tetra plushie at the table? Yeah, that's Tetra. Isn't she cute? I'm in the background of hers, and she's in the background of mine. Although the Tetra plushie is real, although it's not in that outfit. Happy holidays, happy holidays! Hope everyone had a good time on Crimbus if you celebrated. That's adorable. Yeah, we're pretty cute. Yeah, we're pretty adorable like that. I said I planned on Christmas Day and Boxing Day, but I should hopefully be there. What the heck? You guys are dedicated. What the ham? I was like, oh, they're both not gonna be here, but it's fine. We'll survive. And Walter is serving mom. That's what he's here for. He's a Walter. He's a lawyer. He's a butler. He's a maid. Cute maxing. Yeah, I really like this background. I had to wait a little bit for it, but the quality and the pricing, considering what it was phenomenal. I was invited to my brother's girlfriend's family, and I thought it was for dinner. And yes, oh right, it's for lunch. Ah, I forgot, Ram. I forgot. Well, with all the craziness happening the past 2 days, I mean, can you blame me? Can you blame me? I forgot to change it on the calendar. The plush is the same size as Yura. No, I'm literally taller than it. What the heck? Hi, Ice Bat. Try not to say my favorite word. Don't worry about coffee and hot cocoa since my family stocked me up with that. I actually didn't have hot cocoa yesterday because I ate too much. So I'm going to have some hot cocoa later today. I think I deserve a funky little treat. I think I do. Dedication to COD is not optional. Well, if you gotta do stuff, I'm not going to force you to be here. Too much stuff has happened this week, like no joke. Yeah, I know here it's supposed to snow like crazy and it keeps being pushed back and then it's early and then it's like it's happening and then it's two hours later and I'm like, oh, stressful. Lies, you're as tiny at average height. I was thrown into the basement with no freedom to leave, so of course I'm here. What do you mean? Here's a handbag cat, lap cat. Wow. Well, have you know, I am like the biggest domesticated cat ever, okay? Can't say I have to rake the leaves, sorry. Oof, good luck. I do not miss raking leaves. I hate raking leaves. It's just one of those things where like, I know you have to do it, but raking leaves is the worst. Whenever I used to do it as a kid, it used to take hours. And it wasn't even like that much. It was just crazy. It just took forever because you gotta like rake all the leaves together and then the wind blows and then you gotta put them in the bag and you gotta pick them up and then the next day you gotta do it all over again. Your confirms it. Peeps clip it. What? It's just a normal cat, huh? Raking wet leaves is even worse. No! I hope they're not wet leaves. Jock heard your voice came up to put his head in my lap, so Meta says hi, I guess. Hi, puppy! I'm trapped in a water tank down here. I'm not going anywhere without help. All according to Kaikaku. Imagine a little dolphin on a computer. Just typing away. That would be so silly. Oh my gosh. But I hope everyone had a good couple of days. I don't know, everything's pretty much the same. Everything's normal. I'm like tired. I mean, I know you heard Tetra's story this morning, so I have a slight headache, but it's not anything crazy. It's not anything cuckoo bananas. Wait, how do you type with fins? Very, very well. Here against my will by small euro. What do you mean? Hello, Slimity. How was your Christmas? It was great. I had lots of good food. Spent time with family. They mostly asked questions about the baby, which was nice, because I'm used to being, like, either nagged to be like, oh, did you do this yet, Yura? Is this happening yet, Yura? Is this a thing yet, Yura? But instead I'm just like, oh my god, baby! And I was like, yeah, oh my god, baby! So it's good distraction, because everyone's excited. everyone was just excited. And they're like, oh, do you have a name? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, how's everything going? And I was like, good. Huh? Yeah. I am tired. I mean, you always are. Yeah, but I only took like an hour nap today because everything hurts. Not like anything crazy, just normal stuff. But like, man, I'm just in a little bit of pain. So like, sleeping is not comfortable anymore. A lot of people ask me how Dolphin learned to type. Well, I say it wasn't easy. That's my mom right there. Hi, Becky. Just make sure you don't have the name in the family yet. Yeah, I know. Well, apparently it is already, but it's like, it's a distant cousin. I've never even met them before. Never even heard them come up in conversation before. So it's not even like, I'm trying to think of like, it's not even blood related to me. So it's like, okay. There's degrees of tired. Yeah, Rom, degrees of tired. Thank you. Found out a few days ago that my niece is engaged. That was cute. Oh, that's great. Still kind of do the dolphin noise thing in ARC. You should. That would be great. Imagine you just had a soundboard of just dolphin noises. A baby first I've heard. Yeah. Yeah, I mention it pretty much every time. I pretty much mention it every time.
Might be a little person.
Huh?
Might be a little person.
Oh, well, I mean, then, that would be the first time they're here then. 90 degrees tired? Wow, I'm like 94 degrees tired. You're pregante? What? Well, being pregnant, I don't think comfortable exists for the time being. No, it definitely doesn't. And I've heard it only gets worse, so I'm like, oh, that's great. Cool, love that for me. But yeah, 420 degrees tired. Yeah, 720 tired. Flips over you guys. Guessing first child? Yes. Yeah, first one. First and probably only one. So she's gonna be a little spoiled. A little spoiled little one. I'm the strongest Kiwi here. I'm the only Kiwi here, so I can say that. Are you though?
I already know you're talking about Selectra. Let Selectra have their moment.
That's like when you're like, oh, I'm the grandchild, and you're like, you are the only grandchild. They're like, yeah, exactly. What?
Now that it's had more time to chill.
What is
Or maybe just a piece that I cut off.
Ooh, more cheese? I can't have this much. It's a lot. You said it shouldn't be too much.
Yeah. Big piece. Here,
take that. I'll just take these two little ones.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so much cheese.
Oh, so good.
I'm so sad I didn't put cheese on it. I didn't even think about that. No flip Scott, we talked about this. Dang it. You're cold with gray overcast tired. I was gonna say, it's really cold today. Like, I woke up for the first time and I was like, it is cold today. And usually I don't get cold. Your mother, congrats. Thank you. I mean, does it count if the baby's not here yet? I mean, it kind of counts, right? What? Mother to be, yeah. Yeah, I miss you. I've been pretty good. How about you? Tetra just fed me cheese.
Hey, Parmesan.
The Parmigiano Reggiano. Pre-mother, yeah, pre-mother. How much longer anyway? All I can say is soon. I don't know when exactly, but soon. Always building a Lego minifigure vending machine while having 2 beers in your system somehow made building it feel more satisfying. Hey, as long as you're having a good time. Being a really I'm not the smallest mom ever, Rom. What the hello? Why are you so mean to me, Rom? Pre-order mother. I am a pre-order.
Early access.
Early access. Baby is born when timer reaches 0. I always thought that was so weird. I always thought it was so weird that, like, you don't count the age of the baby until after it's born. I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, dang. So, like, 5, 6, 7 months in, I'm not giving specific dates. Just soon. Because you started this and we'll finish this? Wow. Wow, Rom. Wow. It actually does taste better.
Mm-hmm.
What makes cheese taste better?
It tastes so much better already, right?
It's like not as, I can't even explain it. It's like almost sweeter, but not like sugary sweet, if that makes sense. It's magic cheese. If it happens on the 20th, I'll laugh. That's my little girl's birthday. Aww. Yeah, I don't really know. It's kind of just whenever the baby feels like it. Because you're gonna have to find a way to include that cheese in every meal to get through it. Cheese is so good. We'll do it's in the character creator screen.
Like, well, duh.
Oh, well, duh. Oh, there you go. I mean, technically, yeah. DLC, mother. At least the baby wouldn't suffer of having Christmas and their birthday mushed together. You know, I actually saw a post online of saying that, like, Christmas Day and Christmas Eve are some of the least common birthdays. And I'm like, yeah, that kind of checks out. But, like, you can only do so much if it happens. Like, my birthday's New Year's Eve. So, like, it's not like they plan to be like, oh, yeah, yours gonna be born on New Year's Eve. And it's okay. You know, I'm not, like, upset by it, but it's like, I remember growing up, they were like, oh, stay up for New Year's. And I'm like, no, I'm tired. And they're like, it's your birthday. It's the last hours of your birthday. And I'm like, good night. So, like, now it's great because, like, we hang out with friends and celebrate the new year. And it's like, so it's I don't know, it's bittersweet, I guess. I still got my presents combined with Christmas, despite it being a week later. And then when my sister was here, she's early December, they would combine my birthday and her birthday together, and then we would get Christmas. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm still losing my birthday. Months ago, I joked about Yura sharing her birthday with a child, and I were this close for me to be accurate with a joke. Can we ban Rom? Can we ban Rom? Hello? Cotton Motherhood Early Access? Yeah. Stepbrother's to Christmas Day. His name is Nicholas as well. Let's go. Guess there ain't a lot of, well, I mean, I suppose so. Oi. What'd I miss? Yeah, I can still see the message, Lamau. Birthday's a week before Thanksgiving. There's that. I mean, you can't control it. You just can't control it sometimes. Oh my god, there's so much cheese. Now there's like cheese particles all over the place. Anyway, is anyone else getting snow? I know on the, most of the east side is getting like tons of snow. Busted? Yeah, I saw it. I read fast. I realized I did math. It's okay. Just, evolve its control. What do you mean, evolve to control it? Hello? Could be controlled if we were giraffes? Wait, really? You got no snow? Really? I feel like a large portion. Only central and eastern part of your state is getting snow? I feel like it's the entire state over here. Like, a lot. And, I don't know, Tetra and I still think that, like, it might not happen. Because we're like, oh, it's crazy snow. And then, like, we get, like, a dusting sometimes. So it's like, okay. Snow might not as well exist over here. I mean, unless you never get snow, but... It's supposed to get a ridiculous storm, but hasn't happened. Yeah, I'm like waiting for it. I thought it was supposed to start soon, but I don't see anything. It's really cold though. Like I've had it this temperature. It's like 30 degrees, so it's like just under freezing. But here in Western PA, it's finicky. It's raining but cold. I kind of hope it's not too much snow, because then it's annoying to deal with. I'm in southern BC, Canada. We have no snow. It should be good meter by now. Well, really? No snow in Europe? That's sad. We have no snow either. I mean, it's not like I'm close to your Garfield with a point stance. Rom doesn't get snow? You can't get it because I'm suffering, Rom? Hello? It's like 60 degrees. Oh, yeah, you're not getting snow. Nah, you're cooked. Yeah, there's no snow. It's warm down here in Texas. Oh, yeah, you're not getting snow either then. I was gonna say, it's under freezing, so as long as there's precipitation in the air, we're good. You post some Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. Well, you better win or something. I don't know. Go read some books. I don't know what to even do in Elder Scrolls. I haven't played in so long, I forgot. You can only loosely aim for what to expect a baby. You can always decide to be overdue or early. Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's kind of just like up in the air right now. It's been pretty cold here in California too. Also lots of fog driving through Silent Hill. Oh, fog is scary. Like, snow and rain is, like, annoying. Fog gets scary because you can't see sometimes. There was one time where, like, you could barely see the car in front of us, and I was like, what's happening? It reminded me of that really scary movie. I think it was by Stephen King. with like, it was just like a really deep fog. It was terrifying. We used to get snow, but it got less and less for the last couple of years. Now we get a slight film of snow in the morning, like once a month. Or, yeah, you read them scrolls. Thanks, Dolphin. Thanks. The master room just goes, how about you read, gamer? I couldn't think of anything else you do in the game, to be honest. In my case, as you live in the UK, you're definitely not getting snow. I'll give you guys some. The Mist. Yeah, I think it was The Mist. Yeah, that freaked me out. I don't know why. I usually don't get spooked by like those types of things. That movie just freaked me out for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. That, and there was also a different movie. It was like The Lady in the Lake or The Lady, something like that too. It wasn't like based on the fog, but it's just creepy stuff, man. I don't know why. Oh, I just realized this is showing up over here. Did I not have this hidden? Why is, oh. Haha, sorry. Didn't realize that was there. So you're pressing N2 for The Mist? Yeah. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that movie, be ready for sads. It's good though. I wouldn't say it's like a 10 out of 10 movie, but it definitely kept my interest. I had someone speed past me on Saturday night in foggy, so like 10 meters, like 33 feet. The guy was going 112 miles per hour. What the ham? That's like when it's super bright outside and the sun hits the perfect reflection off the traffic light and you can't see. That also freaks me out. We had, when we were driving, pretty recently we were driving, and we couldn't tell if the light was green or not. So like we were just standing there and like we looked at the car next to us like, can you tell if the light's green? Because we genuinely couldn't tell if the light was red or green. The most freaked out when I was young. Wait, what happened when we were young? Sup, Marcus? Also, not just my area of California either. The entire Central Valley got covered in a thick cloud of fog for 3 weeks this year. Yeah, that would freak me out. That would freak me out so much. I don't like it. Probably because, like, my vision's already bad. So if I can't see it on top of that, I would be cooked. Oh, The Mist? Oh. Yeah, because it was just, like, really thick. It's never been... I think it's been really bad here, like, twice. Maybe in the past couple years where I'm like, what is this fog? And it just creeps me out. What job does someone need to pay you millions of dollars to think about for working? For me, is anything to do with the ocean? Just for, like, thinking about working? I mean, I do that with streaming all the time because I'm constantly like, what can I play? What can I do? What do I...
The thing that they would need to be paid millions of dollars for is the ocean. Like, is the ocean.
Oh, you mean, okay, so like deep sea diving and stuff? Not want to do it. There's a lot of jobs I would not do. Anything like, they're like painting skyscrapers and stuff. I saw someone that was doing that. They were painting on these metal beams. Yeah, can't catch me high in the sky. Nothing in the water. Nothing to do with dangerous animals because I'm a chicken. There aren't many jobs I wouldn't do for $1 million. There's a lot I wouldn't do. There's a lot. The human reaction to the mist in the movie is sadly realistic. Oh, I think that's why I like it though. Because it's like, oh, this would actually happen. If I was in a town that was foggy for 3 weeks straight, you better believe I'll dress up like a Silent Hill monster to lurk around. That would actually make me feel safer, because if it's like, oh, it's just a cosplayer pog. You streaming on Twitch? No, I do YouTube and Twitch separately. They get paid a lot of money. I don't care if it's like $10 million a second. I don't think I would do like I like Subnautica, right? I think it's a lot of fun. If I had to dive really deep down underwater and even like study fish, I think I'd panic. It wouldn't be worth it. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be on Twitch. Usually on the weekends I'm on Twitch. And then I haven't been on YouTube consistently lately because it's been kind of crazy with the holidays. But usually I do YouTube Wednesday, Fridays. Note to self, don't show Cot Fred Dibna. What's that? Try an entire valley? Oh no. Where Twitch viewers? Let's go. Hundreds of miles. Yeah, no, I don't, no, I couldn't do fog for hundreds of miles. Nope. Love me Subnautica, but I'm never deep diving. Yeah, playing Subnautica doesn't scare me. I'm actually really, really enjoying it. It's when I'm like there in person that I think would, because I panic very easily. very easily. So the second something went wrong, I would panic and then I'd be cooked. Because you can't panic while you're diving. You can't. It's like the worst thing you could do. That, and I don't think I'd want to go to space either. Space is beautiful. I like looking at the stars. I like looking at the planets. I like learning about it. I think it's interesting. You couldn't get me in space. Nope. Nope. Not going to space either. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. No space despite Tangia. Space. It's turned off, so don't do it. Just hurts me in the mist that Christian is the bad guy, even though he wasn't a true... I mean, there's always going to be people that are portrayed poorly, no matter what they are. Hello, everybody. What's going on today? We're actually going to watch a video about pigeons, and I love pigeons. And I know last time I brought up that you could just take pigeons for free in New York City. Someone corrected me and said you can't just take pigeons off the street in New York City, so that makes me sad. But, you know, it's fine. I'm only a little sad about it. YouTube stream with yeah, YouTube. It's been like a week. It's been like a week and a half, I think, because the last time I streamed was Monday last week, because it's just been so crazy with the holidays, so crazy. But if you don't go into space, how can you fight for the glory of the God Emperor? I don't know what that is. Is that a Warhammer thing? Is it hilarious? Been told I function well under pressure, panic, but every one of those times I'm completely blacked out. Oh, I do terrible under pressure. Like, you know, like the fight or flight response, you're like, oh, when you're under pressure, fight or flight. Yeah, no, I either, well, when I've been scared, I've punched things. So I guess fight in a sense, but I'm either that or a deer in headlights. So, yeah, it's either fight or stand in place. Fred Dibno is an old school guy from the 50s who did videos on how they used to do stuff like fitting ladders to the outside of towers and smokestacks. Oh yeah, no, that would freak me out. Like, I could probably watch it and be like, I'd probably, yeah, I would not survive that. Nope. First time here live, hugs. Hello, welcome in. It doesn't feel like Friday. Oh, it literally does not feel like Friday. It feels like kind of like a weekend, but then not at the same time. It feels like Tuesday. I don't know. My days are so messed up. Gotta be an astronaut for me to be far from terrifying, not prepared. Yeah, I don't think I could do space. Godspeed, anyone who wants to be an astronaut, couldn't be me. Fun fact, my grandfather used to breed pigeons. He actually bred a red, white, and blue pigeon for the bicentennial. Wait, what? That's cool. I know someone in the community on Twitch has a bunch of pigeons. He's actually, like, showed me all of them. I love them. I think they're so cute. I think pigeons are so cute. I don't know why. I don't know why. Unironically, that's how Tesla spent the rest of his life in a hotel room with a few dozen pigeons he had just grabbed from the outside. Wait, really? That's funny as heck. I think they call it fight, flight, or freeze now for that reason. Yeah, I freeze. I either fight, because if I'm spooked enough, my hand will go, and I have almost punched Tetra once or twice. But usually it's freeze. Usually it's freeze because, like, my brain just can't, like, process quick enough or something. I don't know. And I'm just like, you know, so it doesn't happen. No, it doesn't feel like Friday the weekend. Not at all. I think because the holidays messed everything up. It also really didn't feel like Christmas. Funnily enough, I was going to send Tetra a post. It was like, all right, Mariah Carey, now you can go back in your freezing chamber. Because, you know, like the whole joke. And I was like, Christmas didn't... Oh my god, Christmas did happen. It was like, it clicked, and I was like, oh my god, it wasn't just a day, like, hanging out with family. I don't know why. Exactly, I know what you mean. It's been a while since YouTube streamed. Yeah, like, the last time I streamed was the 15th. And now it's the 26th. So it's been 11 days. It's been almost 2 weeks. Gotta feed your geckos. I love geckos! Aww. I was telling Tetra at one point that I want a gecko, but I'm always afraid with the cats, especially with Dawn. You can't have a gecko anywhere near Dawn. She would eat that thing. She would. Working Saturday and Sunday, but it's overtime pay? Okay. Not cool working the weekend, but overtime. Let's go. Geckos are so cute. I just like, and they have like the little big eyes and the little tongues and like, they're just cute. MG! Hello there, here in chat. How are you all? Doing pretty good. We were just talking about the the snowy season coming up over here. Talking about how I haven't been on YouTube for a while. New emotes are there. I did upload them. The winners of the poll are there. So they're all good. Leopard geckos are a good starter for beginner keepers. Yeah, maybe when the cats are more like relaxed. Dawn has this really bad habit of jumping up on places where she shouldn't be. So I feel like if we looked away from the gecko for like 10 minutes or went to sleep, she would try and be friends with the gecko, and I don't know if that's a good idea. Overtime for me is $27.22 an hour. It's pretty good. Oh, you deleted it. Never mind. The fact 2025 is almost feels off. Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't feel like, I don't know. Maybe that's just how I know I'm getting older. We are back trying to grab dinner before content starts, hoping the Yap God doesn't disappoint me. I mean, I was thinking about starting up soon, but whoops. I only have 2 videos that I'm watching today, though. I also haven't edited any of the other ones, which is pretty bad. I have the recordings done. I just need to edit them and then make the overlays things, like the thumbnails. But I'm hoping to get most of that done today, so that by the time... Oh, wait, I won't be able to do YouTube on Wednesday, because that's my birthday. Oh, facts. I won't be able to do YouTube for another week. Huh, maybe I should watch a few more videos this week then, just in case. Oh, darn. Oh, darn. As for snow here where I am, I don't think I've seen any yet, though it is cold. Weather here sometimes works really weird. We had a bit of snow. It wasn't anything crazy, but I was shocked because I feel like we usually don't get snow this early. I feel like I don't remember snow in December of the past couple of years. With leopard geckos, you know when they're in danger because they tend to screech when threatened. Okay, well, at least I'll wake up in the middle of the night then. Leopard geckos are cute, though. I just like geckos. Happy early birthday year. Thank you. Yeah, I would say it's because I can make commands, but I would lie YouTubers for reacting, less for goobering. No, wait, huh? What did I miss? What did I miss? Not a command here? Wait, what command did I miss? I literally missed it. Happy early birthday. Thank you. I might be streaming on my birthday. I don't know. I'll see how it works out because it's kind of like a crazy day already. But if not, I'll do like a late birthday stream. So in the new year, we'll do something. Or I could do an earlier one. We'll see how it is. We'll see how it goes. I'm just asking why the mod commands are in here. Oh, yeah. No, just because YouTube's a little bit more strict with things, so I don't want too much flowery stuff. Between a gecko and a dawn, either they'll be deadly enemies or partners in crime. I don't know which option is the most terrifying. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of afraid of. I'm like, oh, she's either gonna eat the gecko or she'll be sleeping in, like, the tank with the gecko and I'll be freaking out. And then planning things. So, like, places that Dawn can't reach, I'm sure the gecko would reach and they'd be like Bonnie and Clyde. Last time I saw something similar to snow was during summer, funnily enough. And by similar to snow, I mean, oh, hail, literally? You had hail? Monk, yeah, we're watching a video about pigeons today. And I was saying, see, there he is, right there. You called yourself out. There's Pigeon Boy. The most snow that I've ever seen where I live in Western PA was back in 2011. We had over 3 to 4 feet of snow. School was canceled for a week and almost 2 weeks. Dang. I mean, we had a really, really bad snowstorm a while ago, and I think schools were only closed for like a few days, like 4 days. But dang, 2 weeks is crazy. Gecko and Cat Partners in Crime's a show I really want to watch now. Quick, someone make up comic strips and a show of Dawn and a leopard gecko being best friends. People would watch it. Need a tank with a top and lots of room for them to walk around, as leopard gecko can't climb glass, but still like to climb on ledges and branches on top of their caves too. Yeah, another problem is we just don't have room. We just don't have room for anymore. Like we've had like fish before and little things, but I would want to make sure they had like a nice big area to explore and everything. And knowing me, I'd be like, "Aw, one gecko is so sad. We need 2, so they have friends. They have company." Dawn of War, geckos rising. Yeah. Also, the gecko would be taller than Europe. Ron, really? Really, Ron? Really? Is this a joke to you? I had a parrot, a green cheek conure? But he got into my bed while I was sleeping. He's done that before many times, but that was the last time, so I did get your fears. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the cats, thankfully, like, I'm a light sleeper, so when I move, I mean, I've accidentally, like, kicked them because they've been, like, at my feet and I'm stretching and I'm like, oh my god. But nothing crazy, but I'm always afraid of, like, squishing the cats or hurting them if I'm rolling around and they're sleeping in the bed with us. So it'd be even more terrifying for a little guy like a gecko. Save me, I'm already at capacity when it comes to geckos. We're already at capacity with cats. With 2 nights and a stompa, yeah, I figure you have room problems. Yeah, a little bit. Man, I love birds. I just like pigeons. I'm kind of indifferent to a lot of other birds, but I think pigeons are cute. Telescope fish jump scare? Huh? It was something seeing in summer everywhere, and the city get hit by hail. It was a crazy day since apparently the hail was so bad. Some cars got very damaged. Fallen in a tree, apparently floods too. Yeah, hail is scary. Remember, you're an army of geckos begins with 1 gecko. That's why I have an army of dodos happening in Ark. And then eventually I will get my army of mud puppies. And then we will take over Ark. I got to play last night a little bit, by the way. I did get to play a little bit. We have a little baby of dodos. A little, like, I think it's like 5 baby dodos. My thumbnail? Oh, well, that video that we were gonna watch might not be in it because Tetra said it wasn't that great, so we might be watching we're definitely watching something else. Okay, we're watching something else. So I don't know if it's gonna be in it, but we'll see. I've said this on Tetra stream when she was watching the pigeon video, but I've only ever seen 1 brown pigeon and a white one too is a rare sight for me. I think I've seen a white pigeon. I don't really know. I just know when they're pigeon shaped and they go like, I'm like, yes, pigeon. I've seen some really chonky, I love the chonky pigeons. I love them so much. I don't know anything about type of pigeons. I just know they're cute. You don't know if it's gonna be in it. In it. Left you 4 types of egg this time for more baby variety. Ooh. Well, we couldn't claim the dodos themselves, dolphins. I was there because you have them claimed, but we did take the eggs. We did steal them. And we named all of them. So there's like a pink one that I named Cotton Candy, and then there's another one called Calzone, I think. The Casual Geographic is phenomenal. Not Casual Geographic. I tried finding something new and it looked interesting from a new person, and yeah. That video was brain damaging. Oh no.
Yeah, it's great.
Not just hail, field weather in general is very scary. Oh yeah, intense weather is very scary. Every time I go out and see a pigeon, my brain goes, oh my god, pigeons? Yeah, literally, Tetra has to hold me back because I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna pet the pigeon. I'm gonna pet the pigeon. And she's like, no, you can't pet the pigeon. I'm like, I just wanna, like, it's just on the little top of his little head. And just be like, that's all I wanna do. I don't know why. It's like I don't know, I have to do it. It's like seeing a red button and not being able to press it. It's bad. I recommend watching Why the Fish Belong, the horror movie, more than Sharks by Casual, unless you've already seen it. I don't think so. I'm just kind of gonna pull from stuff that Tetra's gonna recommend today.
Anything
so,
from Casual's always a recommendation.
Yeah, Casual is just amazing. He's so good at delivering, and it's just good information. It's just great information. He's just great. Seriously, Kyle, when Tetra releases the VOD of that React watch, you understand why we're sheltering you? Oh.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things I've watched.
I'll watch it when I'm trying to, like, draw later on or play games or something. Have you watched 7 Fish Scarier Than Sharks? I don't think so. Bad Era can't pet the flying street puppy. Why not? Pigeons are supremely pettable. Yeah, I just want to pet them. I just want to pet them and then, I don't know what they can eat. Probably not bread, but I just want to, like, pet them and then, like, give them some seeds or something and be like, I've done my job here, pigeon. Pretty sure the telescope fish image in the thumbnail is part of the Casual Geographic video. Not the one with pigeons, no. Because the Casual Geographic one we're watching today is about pigeons.
They both use the same source image, is basically what happened.
Yeah.
Casual used it too.
You took notes to watch us, didn't know if you had it yet. Well, like, I don't pre-watch anything because it would be silly. So, pigeons? Yeah, we're gonna watch pigeons today.
Yeah, this too.
You sent me that one
I
too?
said you're a Casual one.
Okay. So, wait, what was the other one? Didn't you say there was another one?
One from Penn?
Yeah.
If you still need more content, you can watch the Penn one too, which is...
I mean, 3 is usually my limit, so...
Extinction, too.
Okay, so we'll watch those. I'm just really excited about the pigeons. We will get started momentarily, though. Alright. Wow, that was crazy. Alright. So we'll watch 2 Casual Geographics and then Extinct 2. Pigeons can eat seeds. They carry pocket seeds. I can carry just any type of pocket seeds. Thought you missed watching it. I usually don't watch Tetra when she's streaming, only because then I watch the same videos and it wouldn't be like live reactions.
Yeah.
So I try not to. I kind of like phase out and I'll do something else on the side.
She naps.
Yeah, usually I nap or I'll just be like zoned in on a game with headphones max out. Poor pigeons, humans really up and dump them. They're just good little pigeons. We got so many cool Casual Geographic videos. Even after each one, I somehow finished with more fear than when I started. However, I must say he really got a way of speaking holy. Oh, he's phenomenal. He's amazing. I love Casual Geographic. He's great. That, I mean, a lot of the videos I've reacted to, Fire Department Chronicles is great. More Pars is great. There's just really, really good content creators. Like, it couldn't be me. Don't randomly feed the pigeons, but I want to feed the pigeons.
Thank you
Nice,
for my
Ricky.
headphones. She wants me to...
She wanted to remind you, like, it's food time. Reminder chat, don't spoil hint about the video, so don't spoil the fun for Kai. Yeah, don't give me anything, because I know some of you guys have watched it with Tetra. Don't spoil it, because it's been happening on and off for the past couple of videos. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then it'd be like, oh, well, that's why chat brought it up. Just very convenient. When I was little, I always tried to pick up a pigeon and always found it funny how they casually just walk away from you instead of fly. Isn't it so silly where they're like, their little heads just bob? And I'm like, oh my god.
They did that to me actually today, I just remembered.
Oh no.
Somebody was saying cavitation bubbles, and I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, that's, yeah, cavitation bubbles. And then the cavitation bubbles happened in the video. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, do you watch cooking videos? Nah, I'm not really a cooking person. I would just be like, that looks so good, I'd eat it. Oh my god, I would eat that. Oh my god, I would eat that. I would eat that without this in it. Oh my god, that looks so good. That would be my reaction. You feed the pigeons, you pet the pigeons of your ground. What? I'll have to step out, I got more family stuff. Hope the videos are funny. Happy holidays, take care, Concha. Take it easy, Maple.
You're doing the thing, you might ingest yourself.
Yeah, I know.
You need to stop.
Yeah, because I can help it, Tetra, yeah.
No, I hear, no, I hear,
It's
I hear
fine.
you. All right, no, I'm saying
It's
you're...
fine. Poor pigeons? What do you mean poor pigeons? Isn't it bad for the birds to give them bread, or am I misremembering? I know it's bad to give ducks bread because it like enlarges their stomach or something like that. I'm not sure about pigeons, but I would assume bread's not good for them. I do wonder if Kyle would enjoy Lindsay Nicole. I've heard she's great, but I know Tetra's done it in the past. New kind of pigeons, the hood. Well, huh? I've never heard of that before. The what pigeons? Alright, let me get this set up because, are the breads is like processed food? Yeah. I was gonna say, I know bread isn't great. White bread is bad because they don't have stuff they need. Yeah. We're being told when I was young, if you feed pigeons rice, they'll explode. Thankfully, I've never heard that one.
There's Alka-Seltzer and seagulls.
Who would give Alka-Seltzer to seagulls?
It kills them.
That's terrible.
They can't burp. They'll pop. It's horrible.
Well, that's terrifying. That's terrifying. I know you're going to write this certain species of birds a really bad form. Wait, what? In a way, I think I never watched this video of Casual Geographic, so I guess I'm ready to unlock this new fear. No, pigeons are cute. They're cute. Okay, let's switch screens. Let me move over here because we gotta get to the gaming session. New fear unlocked. Oh, with the Alka-Seltzer. Okay, wait, hold on. Is this even on? Okay, hold on. Let me make sure you guys can hear it first.
What's that? Oh my god.
Okay, all right. I think you guys can hear it. Let me see. Make sure you can see it next. Okay, there we go. Look at this Giga Chad. Seagulls may be annoying, but that's just messed up to do the shorebird. Yeah, I would hope people wouldn't do it, but I know there's terrible people in the world, so. No video Tetra. Wait, what? We can hear it. Is the volume good? Was it good enough? It looked like it was. No, I messed with some of the volume settings. So I don't know. The hell's been eating? Giga Chad energy. That's what. Look at this. Look at this Giga Chad of a pigeon. Oh, I should probably introduce the video. Today we're watching a video by Casual Geographic. I don't remember the name. Something about middle fingers to people, to humanity, and it's about pigeons, and I love pigeons. Chat, tell everyone you love pigeons. Chat, delay, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Fat pigeon looks like something out of my nightmare. What do you mean? He's puffing up his chest. What if it's like, what if he's just trying to prove that he's like the big guy on campus? You know what I mean? Pigeons are, don't eat the pigeons. Pigeons are friend-shaped. Don't eat the pigeons. Look at him. He's trying to show off. Okay, let's see. I can't wait. I love pigeons. Oh, how humanity gave this animal the middle finger. Oh no. Wait. Are they gonna be mean to, don't be mean to pigeons. Pigeons Riz attempt. This is the pigeons Riz attempt.
Oh my God, what is that?
It's a pigeon.
Oh my God. What is that?
That's a pigeon.
Nah, no way they gotta kill this pigeon.
New York wood. That's crazy. That's crazy work.
Definitely know who this is and why he was an icon, but did you know there were at least 2 creatures that khaki animal Jesus was afraid of? 1, hippos.
Fair.
No further explanation needed. But
Yep.
also, parrots. Yeah, the same Steve Irwin that cuddled crocodiles, got a hickey from a python on live TV and apologized to the python, and did this, was the same man that experienced legitimate fear in the face of an overgrown parakeet.
Parrots? Is it because they're intelligent or like, I don't understand.
And the crazy part is, that has nothing to do with this video. I really only brought that up to make my biggest fear sound less ridiculous. Because out of all the animals in the world, I've historically only been afraid of 1. I've held 8-foot pythons when I was 6. I've had no problems with the spiders in my house. I've always had a soft spot for sharks. Yet the one animal that could stop me dead in my tracks. Matter of fact, just guess. What do y'all think I'm about it?
Please don't tell me it's gonna be, you can't be afraid of pigeons, they're just little guys. I mean, I guess they could spread like diseases and stuff, but like, they're just little guys.
I say, here's an ad while you grapple with that. Pigeons. It's always been pigeons.
What? Why?
I could never fully explain it, but as early as I can remember, these bum doves put the fear of Dante's Inferno in every fiber of my vessel. There's 2 stories that sum up my feelings towards.
He must have gotten swarmed like one of these things, because that makes total sense. I would be freaked out in a swarm of these pigeons too. Like, imagine your whole, okay, I'm gonna, like, this is like, it's a story. Like if you're holding like a French fry and all of a sudden a swarm of pigeons see that you're holding a French fry and then they all just go after you to fight for that said French fry. Yeah, that would be, I could understand. I'm gonna let you cook, Casual. I'm gonna let you cook.
Towards pigeons. As a kid, I could vaguely remember crossing the street with my dad when one of the spawns of avian antichrist popped out from under the car like a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare. And from the way my dad likes to tell this story, apparently I recoiled so bad that I jumped back and nearly got turned into a speed bump by a passing van. There is an alternate universe where my irrational fear of pigeons cost my folks a dependent and had me heaven sent. So this is really more exposure therapy than an actual video, and the first step is understanding. There are a lot more types of pigeons.
Okay, I'm very proud of him, first of all, because that would scare me too. Okay, understandable. Understandable. In a big enough, excuse me, my voice fading. In a big enough swarm, anything could be scary. Oh, 100%. Like, one of my worst fears is, like, I've heard stories of, actually, it was an old professor, of how he went to go poke something that was, like, a cotton swab, and he went to go eat it, because apparently he used to eat them as a kid. Strange, I know. And when he picked it up, he realized it was, like, it felt different, it looked different, something just felt off. And the more he held it, like a swarm of spiders came out of it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's terrifying. Yeah, I know, so that's, yeah, just, you know, because little baby spiders, you're like, ah, fine, but no, yeah, no, that would mess me up. Yeah, the swarm of anything, I could understand, I completely understand.
Pigeons that my subconscious could ever curse me with. There's over 350 pallets of pigeons populating the planet. You got the Victoria crowned pigeon, the biggest bird on the roster whose headdress got it named after royalty. Then there's the Nicobar, the closest thing to a present-day dodo, and definitely the
Closest thing to a present-day dodo? I love it. I want 10. I want 10 right now. Oh my god, look at this precious little bean. Oh my gosh, I love dodos.
beast flexor of the family. Can't forget the Karuru, the New Zealand
Okay, hold on. Look at this. Hold
present-day
on.
dodo, and definitely the
Dodo banger.
beast flexor of the family. Can't forget the
Look at this Giga Chad. Look at this dude. Look at the aura. Why does it look like he's wearing like a tank top? Like what are those white they're called wife beaters, right? The tank top things? No, you can't have it. Why not? I love the dodo pigeon. I love it. New Zealand mentioned. Let's go. Yeah, look at this. Look at this absolute Giga Chad. Look at the aura that this pigeon is giving off. He does. Oh my god. Nah, you can't unsee it. You're welcome. This is actually just a New York pigeon. Bro is on the way to the liquor store. That to get a pack of cigs. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I ruined it for everyone. I'm sorry.
Karuru, the New Zealand variant, famous for being a crippling alcoholic.
Oh.
As in, they'll get so hammered off fermented fruit that they legit forget how to fly. And you've probably heard the phrase turtle dove, especially this time of year. Well, today I found out that I apparently had no clue what they look like, or that they originated from the Middle East. A hop, skip, and an 8-hour flight to the Philippines, and you'll find a Luzon bleeding heart pigeon named...
Okay, well, that other pigeon was crazy. This one literally looks like its name. Very interesting. I'd be freaking out. Go mention. No. Looks about to tell me. Yeah, he's about to tell you, forget about it. True. This one looks cute, though. Besides, it looks like that it's bleeding, and I would be freaking out trying to, like, help it.
For obvious reasons. You got the silvery wood, the maroon pigeon, and the purple-winged dove, all
Cute.
of which are in danger of being discontinued. And then you got the pigeons humans bred like dogs, which would easily make this the pug of poultry. It's like a pigeon police sketch done by a kindergartner on Adderall with no prior knowledge of anything bird.
Okay, when people say, like, draw a pigeon off the top of your head, this is what it looks like. That makes a lot of sense why he looks a little funky. He's got the crimson chin, that's what it is. He just got that, like, that Giga Chad chin jawline. It's fine. It's fine.
There's hundreds of breeds of pigeons, and the English pouter might just be the nastiest work of all. Although the English carrier might just be a close second, because honestly, what in the what even is this? What was the goal if this was the outcome? All those pigeon remixes go back to the OG, the rock dove, aka the main mugshot that comes up when you Google pigeon. And this is where I stopped hating and started learning. For example, the rock dove was originally only found here. Well, actually here in the dark red. That's right, any place outside this red is a place people Uber the scourge of my soul. That includes what might as well be the pigeon capital of the world, New York City. So of course I just had to grow up 15 minutes from it because RNG.
I knew Casual was a New Yorker. Let's go!
Apparently, pigeons first touched American soil in the early 1600s via Europeans. That means the flying city merchant is more natural to the Sahara Desert than to the streets of Manhattan. Which brings me to half the reason I'm making this video.
What's the one thing you spend way too much time thinking about?
I think all the time about how we domesticated pigeons and then we decided we don't want to use them anymore for like messages. So they are completely reliant on humans. Have you ever seen like a nest of a pigeon?
No, and I didn't know we domesticated them either.
Yeah, their like nests are like 3 twigs and like the egg is just on the cold ground. So
Because they don't know how to build a nest because we messed them up?
yeah.
Wait, really? I don't think I've ever seen a pigeon nest on the ground. Maybe because they just don't have room? But, like, what? We've all pigeons? Or is it just in specific areas? Because I've never seen just 3 twigs and an egg on the floor. Those ones, yes? What the ham? I don't think I've ever seen a pigeon nest. Not entirely true. I was going to say, I've never seen a pigeon nest. I mean, it could just be because there's, like, literally, like, concrete. But, you know, they're in high places. Dang. Well, they just don't know how to protect the babies anymore? That's how their normal nest wasn't caused by domestication. Oh, so they just don't know how to build a nest. They're just, okay. We gonna explain that? Okay, alright, sorry. Getting ahead of myself. My bad.
I did not know how to take this revelation, and after looking into it, she's half right. Pigeon nest is a meme as old as time. This is really something only an animal with no access to birth control could come up with. It's heavy on the them kids, but before they're even born. At this point, it's like they're trying so hard.
I'm sorry. What is this? Pigeons, why?
Not to try that it would literally take less effort to try. The thing is, they weren't named rock dove for nothing. In the wild, they'd normally raise their aesthetically challenged children on cliff ledges or crevices, which ended up being not that far off from where they shack up now. And as long as the ground's flat and the egg doesn't roll away to become a late termination and an early onset omelet, this is really all they need. Minimalism for the win. But the other point she made about us pretty much abandoning them, turns out it's pretty accurate, which actually...
I mean, that makes sense, because we really don't deliver things by pigeon anymore. But I've never seen any of those nests before. They just gather a couple twigs and they're like, nah, I'm done. Nah, I'm cooked. I think one used my mom's windshield wipers as a nest before. That's actually crazy work. Yeah, see, pigeons, you just can't appreciate. They're just minimalists. They're just minimalist by nature. Thank you. You're so right, Naira. They're just minimalist, okay? They don't like space, okay? They just don't like clutter, rather. What do you mean? I still do. Hello? Can we use Yura to deliver a message? Yeah, it'll still take a couple years. It's fine. After you said that, I just got an image of my head of a mama pigeon basically eating an egg across the city. Not even joking. They're just funny. They're just little pigeon guys, you know.
Brings me to my second story. So I had spent the day walking around New York with my mom and was understandably starving. So hungry that we decided to get food from a street side meat vendor. The cardinal sin of the city, but we didn't know any better. The food was immediately off, but let's be honest, not enough for me to stop. I remember the meat tasting gamey and fatty and had this really strong aftertaste that I'd never experienced before. It wasn't until I was 2/3 done that I noticed a small cage halfway tucked under the stand. A small cage with maybe a dozen pigeons squirming around. It was at this moment I realized I was sold a chicken leg lie. Your boy just ate some pigeon wings. Now that story is almost completely made up, but peep out just the idea.
Bro, what? Well, I trusted you, Casual. I trusted you. I was like, dang, that's so sad. I'm sorry that happened to you. That's kind of messed up. I didn't even know it was allowed. How dare you, Casual? First more parts, now this? What's next? Pigeons aren't real? You got Tetra too? I was gonna say, I could see that kind of happening. I could kind of see it happening. Someone messing up like that. Casual? I've been bamboozled twice. I'm 2 for 2. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The idea of getting calories from a concrete chicken probably disgusted most of y'all. The thing is, pigeons are regularly eaten by people in a lot of places. Squab is a name for an immature prepubescent domestic pigeon, and it's considered a delicacy depending on where you're standing. Which shouldn't even really be a surprise, because one thing about pigeons, they get violated by the entire food chain. I've seen with my eyes pigeons get absolutely bodied by a street savvy Stuart Little. They somehow managed. Was that a rat just dragging a pigeon away? I thought pigeons and rats were supposed to be friends, because pigeons are just rats of the sky. What the? Why is everyone mean to pigeons? What do pigeons do to you? Pigeons are Alpha Legion employee, they really are just cameras? Wait a minute. We joked about trading the chicken we had with Seagull. No. What's next? Casual isn't real either. I'm expecting it. You know who hasn't tricked me yet? Fire Department Chronicles. Please don't trick me, dude. Please. You're the only one left that hasn't tricked me. There was a lot of them. The rat was hangry. No. No. It happens a lot more than you think. Rats will hunt down these poor birds. Why are rats so mean? What the? Pigeons are just little guys. To find ways to take L's from turtles. In fact, there's a catfish that specializes in murking an animal that literally got gift wrapped the ability to fly. And to add insult to injury, the fish is virtually blind. How do you fumble that bad? Pretty much the entire cast. Did he just say a blind fish catches pigeons to— Hold up. Catfish that specializes in murking an animal that literally got gift wrapped the ability to fly. And to add insult to injury, the fish is virtually blind. How do you fumble that bad? A blind fish also attacks pigeons. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Pigeons, are you okay? New Zealand has pigeon racing? Oh, pigeons. Of course, this fish, catfish is in Paris. Yoink. The well-known catfish, they learned to hunt pigeons? I didn't even know fish could eat birds like that. I thought birds ate fish. This is... Man, why does the world hate pigeons?
Catfish rely more on the whiskers so their eyes aren't need as much. I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Pretty much the entire cast of Over the Hedge plays population control for pigeons, and we've all seen how pelicans conduct themselves in pigeon presence. And humans were no different, and food was one of the many reasons pigeons were added to the American census. Another reason was to employ them as messengers before iPhone became a thing. But another reason was for pets. There was a time where owning a pack of pigeons wasn't just normal, it was a sign of status. If you had pigeons on your property, it meant you were probably doing well in life.
Yeah, pigeons were a sign of status. Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. Pigeons are a bit dumb. They just need a little extra support. It's fine. It's fine. They can't use their beak to cut away of the fish. It's probably not sharp enough, because aren't their beaks usually used for just like seeds, right? I know different types of beaks are used for different reasons. Go steal pigeons on the street, that's a sign of status. You're right. But someone in the comments forever ago said you can't just take the pigeons in New York. That's not allowed. This is illegal. It's like the newest phone in today. Yeah, imagine strolling up with just a flock of pigeons and be like, yeah, I send messages to all my friends today via pigeon. No big deal. Catfish essentially learned the orca hunting tactics. That's not nice. Orcas are mean.
Akbar the Great of the Mughal Empire had not one, but 2,000 pigeons as wow, that is a comma. Make that 20,000 pet pigeons. But in the time since, hoarding pigeons went from a flex to something that guarantees you dirty looks on the subway. And that's thanks to one of the most egregious gaslight campaigns you've ever seen. In June 1966, New York Parks Commissioner Thomas Hoving verbally eviscerated pigeons, blaming them for spreading filth and disease, and used a term you've definitely heard of, rats with wings.
Well, there it is.
And just like that, the pigeon's reputation went straight to hell. No return trip. A couple things that are interesting though. In the same article, Mr. Hoving also blamed the homeless and homosexuals for bringing property value down. He also
Okay, fact this guy. Alright, first of all, it was bad with the pigeons. Fact this guy. Yeah, screw the guy who ruined these. He ruined a lot of things. Fact this guy. Yeah, you know what? Bring pigeons back. Bring them back. A dolphin with pigeons sus.
became the commissioner January 16th, 1966, and resigned March 15th of the next year. His actual term was just over a year, but the slander he tagged the Metro Tweety with was permanent. Then Woody Allen dogpiled on them, and humanity has hated pigeons ever since.
It's not pretty at all there. They're rats with wings.
It's kind of like how Mark Twain roasted coyotes so flagrantly, not only did it single-handedly earn them smoke from the public, it was directly responsible for the luckless Looney Tune. That's not a throwaway joke either. Look up what Wile E. Coyote was based on. It's actually wild.
Wait, really? I didn't know that? I thought they just picked a random thing that would hunt down roadrunners. What the ham? This is a lot of information today.
But thanks to these 3 words, the bird that was more common in royalty than marrying your cousin got typecast as a flying version of the animal whose hygiene allegedly turned half the population into a hashtag. I gotta say allegedly because new evidence suggests that rats weren't even responsible for the plague to begin with.
Why the fuck you lying?
Pigeons got lied on too because they're nowhere near the disease risk we label them as.
Yeah, I don't know why. I like pigeons, but I've always heard they've carried tons of diseases as well. Yeah, imagine thinking everything this entire time was a lie. This messed up.
I legitimately didn't know that before researching. They can carry disease, but because of their immune system, it's actually rare for them to transmit them to people.
Oh.
I know. I couldn't believe it either. It also turns out the glorified gutter tweety is actually resistant to bird flu. Now they still can catch you slipping, and usually the problems come from their lesser half. When pigeons drop deuces in one spot, it can dry up and eventually turn into dust. Breathe enough of that doo-doo dust and you can end up with a nasty infection known as bird handler's lung. But even then, it takes a lot, like on some you clean bird as a hobby for you to be exposed enough to be down bad. So yeah, pigeons carry diseases, but no more than any other animal. I mean, by that logic, humans carry disease, but we're still out here raw dogging handshakes. Dogs can carry disease, yet I still see people tongue kissing them. Deer are walking Airbnbs for ticks peddling Lyme disease. And cats done infected half the people watching this.
Cats would never. But I can't believe. I mean, true though. It's true. I mean, I thought I don't know why. We know why now. But like the pigeons are always marked as like riddled with diseases and be like, oh, don't touch them. They could give you something. When they're actually just not, I still wouldn't touch one. Besides just to like pet it on the head a little bit and then wash my hands. But I'd wash my hands petting any animal outside. mind controlling cats. Ain't no way. Yeah, cat slander. First of all, cats. I feel like we give cats more disease than cats give us. Unless they're like wild, I guess. Then they have more exposure. But cool, you had a cameo, Euro. What the hell? He called you and Tetra out. What the? Cats have one of the weirdest infection vectors, the disease from them, the mind control. No, cats just choose you. Cats are just the boss. You don't choose the cat. The cat chooses you. Estimated 1/3 of the world is infected with a parasite from cats, a parasite that can influence our brains.
Toxoplasmosis.
No, it's not. That's actually bad. But
That's what they're talking about.
oh, yeah, but that's like contracting that. You'd have to like touch their poop and ingest it.
Yeah, people like to overstate. I don't mean to chime into your video, but people like
It's
to
okay.
overstate.
Yeah, no,
It's not
that's
that bad.
believe me, I've done the research on that. It's very bad, yes, but you'd literally have to like eat the poop, which I would hope people aren't doing. People say they're disease-ridden, yet those same people would want to pet any stray or feral cat and dog who've never been vaccinated before. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If I'm petting an animal, even at like a farm or anything, I'm still gonna wash my hands after. Even if I'm not eating, I'm just gonna wash my hands because it's an animal. So that's why I keep getting colds. It's Euro's fault. What do you mean? I think that's why a lot of animals get the hate that they do because of people doing basically what that guy just did to the pigeons. Yeah. Yeah, it would have to be like long exposure over time. So we're saying you shouldn't eat poop. Do not eat the poop. Do not touch the poop. Wash your hands. Washing your hands is important. When a cat doesn't clean their paws, can be left where you might pick it up unknowingly. Yeah, exactly. Tacos make you defend the cat. I rest my case. Okay.
Yet pigeons are the ones that got tattooed as rodents with frequent flyer miles. Between 1941 and 2003, there have been 176 documented cases of pigeons passing off disease to a human. And again, it'd virtually take you being Buddy from that one Hey Arnold episode. You know what else I found out? Pigeons don't really spill sugar honey iced tea while flying. They 100% can, but since that could involve hitting their own feet, they prefer to do it on a perch. So it turns out the dirtiest
See, pigeons are respectful.
thing about pigeons is the way we've done them. Which actually sucks because once I started to work past my pigeon prejudice, I realized, I can't believe I'm about to say this, pigeons are low-key broken, like they're mad talented for no reason. Like for example, they're one of the fastest things with wings in the world. Pigeons can fly at averages of 60 miles per hour, but can peak out at nearly 100.
Well, I didn't know pigeons could move that fast. Hello? That's why they use them as carriers. Let's go. Yeah, we're done dirty.
There have even been stories of pigeons triggering speed cameras in streets. We don't really notice because one of their biggest ops also happens to be the fastest thing alive, which is how they can get packed up by a 200-mile-per-hour Falcon Punch. But pigeons still have the juice to dodge a peregrine and live to talk about it. Put it this way, the fastest thing on Earth hunts pigeons, and even that's not a total mismatch. And a good reason is another superpower we don't talk about, their eyes. The only real self-defense pigeons practice is the power of foresight. So if they don't see danger coming, or worse, don't recognize it, they just get bullied. But pigeons have 340-degree vision and can even see wavelengths of light.
340 degree? Nah, they're missing out on 20 degrees. That's messed up. Just give them the extra 20 degrees. Come on. Come on. What is the top speed of an unladen raw pigeon? Great question, Jim.
Invisible to us. They're so busted that the US Navy once upon a time tried using the chicken of the city to conduct search and rescue missions out in the ocean. Basically, they trained a couple pigeons to recognize random red or orange objects, you know, the colors you'd expect from a life jacket, and then press, or more like peck, on a switch on site. In test runs, the pigeons noticed the target 90% of the time, completely outclassing the human rescue crew who just barely pulled off 40%. Then there's the fact that the pigeons could remain vigilant for hours without falling off. Unfortunately, the experiment was cut short due to budget cuts, and every pigeon involved getting killed during a crash landing. But even
the pigeons got hurt? What, the poor pigeons?
this experiment showcased another pigeon flex. They're way smarter than they get credit for. They probably would if they could talk like parrots or ravens.
I was gonna say, I feel like ravens and crows would scare me more than pigeons. Just because pigeons just seem like funny little guys. I didn't know that. 07. Yeah, that's really sad. They got killed, yeah. I mean, that's sad.
But even with a brain in the weight class of a walnut, pigeons can still surprise us. Trained pigeons can actually pass the mirror test, the same one most dogs and cats fail. In 1995, a study found that pigeons could be taught to tell the difference between a Picasso painting and Monet. I'm not gonna lie to you, I myself
Okay, gonna be real for the pigeons out there, kinda slay. Kinda slay knowing the difference between the two. I mean, they're very different art styles, if I remember correctly, but very proud of the pigeons for telling the difference between a Picasso and a Monet. Very proud of them.
can't do that. To a similar beat, pigeons could be trained to tell apart malignant breast tumors from the benign. And yeah, we're still talking about a bird here. A German study in 1990 found that the avian overachievers could successfully memorize 725 different black and white patterns and correctly identify the 100 patterns associated with a reward.
I can't even do that. What the? So they could pigeons are cool. We need to bring back pigeon. We need to tell people that pigeons are cool. We got to bring back pigeons are smart. Oh my gosh. I just thought they were doofy little guys. No, they're actually intelligent. What the ham?
Pigeons also have an ability to count that rivals primates. Bro, tell me why folks found out that the Bane of Broadway can read. So what scientists did, right? They taught these pigeons a bunch of words and would either show a real word on screen or a misspelt one to go with a star. If it was an actual word like, for example, dog, they had to peck at the word. And if it was some nonsense like ugged, the rules were to peck at the star. Get it right and they'd win food. What? Tell me why the feathery assault on your windshield actually did better than the baboon.
Food-oriented based.
That took the same test. It was at this moment I went from highly impressed to low-key concerned with how smart pigeons are. There's like 5 million of them in NYC. We're cooked if they turn on us. Here's a couple other pigeon facts I picked up. That thing they'll do where they'll fly around in a circle as a synchronized group, that has a name and it's called murmuration. The best theory for why they do this is as a predator response, because their honest to God best defense is just making it harder to be singled out. That weird, crusty looking bump on their beaks is called the operculum, and it's really only there to cover the nostrils. And like a middle-aged hairline, it slowly starts to disappear as they get older. Pigeons are also monogamous and one of the minority of birds that take till death seriously. That's probably why you've never seen a baby pigeon. Parents supervise them virtually 24/7 until they look like the urbanite we're used to.
I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen a baby pigeon. Pigeon pong. That thing where they go in the swirl always like fascinates me. We call it a swarm wave. I'd probably call it a swarm as well, but that's really cool.
Pigeons are as loyal as birds get. So it's no surprise they've had success in the military. This is Cher Ami, one of the many homing pigeons used by the US during World War I. And in 1918, over 500 men got pinned behind enemy lines with no food, water, or ammunition. Their only option was releasing carrier pigeons begging for support, but the surrounding Germans peeped game and started lighting up any pigeon that tried. And that included Sheikh Ami, who got shot out of the air, but like a goddamn phoenix managed to get back up. Against every force of nature, the plucky pigeon made it back to base, traveling a smooth 25 miles in 25 minutes to deliver the message that would end up saving the remaining 194
See, pigeons don't get enough credit. This is not enough credit.
men. And he did it half blind with a bullet wound and a leg hanging on by a literal thread. The bird, whose name means my dear friend past tense, later the next year, but would be forever immortalized in the Smithsonian as the MVP of the 77th Infantry. G.I. Joe was a homing pigeon who came in clutch when he delivered a message calling off an airstrike of a village that the British had already regained control of from the Germans. If G.I. Joe didn't basically score at the buzzer, at least 1,000 soldiers would have been turned into ashes. And then there was William of Orange.
See, pigeons don't get enough rep. This is kind of messed up. See everything this pigeon is doing? He listed so many things that help them, I can't even remember them. This is crazy. Yeah, can I get an 07 in chat for the pigeons? Thank you.
Who traveled 250 miles in just over 4 hours to request air support after the radio sets had failed. Turned out he was the air support, and William's carry job saved about 2,000 men. He would be one of the 32 pigeons to earn the Dickin Award, which was basically like a finals MVP but for animals. Somehow pigeons went from war heroes to people actively trying to wipe them out. We really stayed doing our troops wrong. But I think it's safe to say, I was wrong. I was not familiar with their game. You won't catch me moving like this guy, but I'll definitely respect them. Just from a reasonable distance. And that's the most character development you're gonna get.
Respect, yeah, and we call them rats with wings because 2 people said it. Messed up. A terrible human being and, I don't know, an actor I think the other guy was. Messed up.
Drink water, hug your loved, tell a pigeon you appreciate them, and I'ma see y'all in the next one.
All right, everyone, when you see a pigeon, you have to go up to them and say thank you. Yeah, thank you for your service, great bird. That is crazy work. Actually, wait, there's a little bit left. Hold on. Phenomenal. That was amazing. Poor pigeons. Poor fucking pigeons. Don't get any love for that. That's messed up. That's messed up for real. Oh, I'm on the wrong fagging tab. Or, wrong tab. My bad. My bad. Hold on. But that was good. I would like to say I'm shocked, but I actually learned a lot. I learned a lot. I try, but they're always flying or sitting on the power lines. Just, you could like scream to them. Just don't do it when people are around, because then they'll probably look at you funny. Because they probably didn't watch the Casual Geographic one. Just picturing the pigeon wearing the veteran cap, honestly? Yeah. Now she probably wants to make one home even more. Well, I've been told that you can't just pick up free pigeons, so kind of messed up. Maybe there were monsters with the humans all along. Yeah, I'm starting to think humans kind of did, kind of mess things up. I gotta bounce, but you enjoy the rest of the stream. Thank you so much for the super chat, Tank. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Okay, so the next one we're gonna watch is The Fish Sharks Made You Forget. Why these fish belong in a horror movie more than sharks. See, but, okay, pause. Sharks are scary. They can be scary, but I feel like as long as you don't mess with sharks, or like, you know, it's kind of like how I view spiders, right? If a spider wants to do their own thing in the corner of the house and just mind his own business, then that spider can stay there, you know what I mean? You're going to war for pigeons. I'm going to defend them more. And then when people are like, oh, pigeons are silly, I'm going to pull up that video. This video? Oh, no. Yeah, he explains it really well. Casual Geographic is just amazing. I will forever be like, he's just phenomenal. He's 10 out of 10. They have seen this video. It's too much. The one I think it is. Yeah, it's the reason why people should be scared of these fish instead of shock. But like, sharks are scary. They can be scary, but I feel like you have to, it kind of has to be like perfect place, perfect timing. I feel like at least that's what I've seen. But we'll see. Come at me, sharks. Me and my dolphin buddies will mess you up. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Come on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see what they have to say. Belong in a horror movie. I'm trying to think what fish I could think of that would be. I know they might mention the one that attacks the tongue, because that fish does scare me. Oh, is it a fish? No, it's a parasite. Oh, well, no, then I got nothing. I got nothing. Let's see.
Eu gostei assim, amostradinho.
Okay, the two eyes and like, I know I paused at the wrong time. It reminds me of the ghoul things from the Ghibli movies, which is like the big teeth and like the bright eyes. Hello, sir, how are you doing? So I just want to check if the super chats still work. Hello, Steven. Hi, and again, your live to do model looks amazing. No, I'm deeply impressed every time. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm doing well. Hope you're also doing well, you goober. I know it's been a while since I've been on YouTube, but I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, most sharks don't see people as food. A lot of the time just see something like a turtle. Yeah, like, especially with like surfboards and stuff. But thank you so much again for the super chat. Thank you.
You know, the greatest trick Hollywood ever pulled was convincing the world that sharks are the only things to fear in the water. There be monsters. In the last video, we talked about how sharks might just be the most misunderstood creatures in nature, with a PR team that works about as hard as a whiteout's brain after 6 rounds of CTE. They've been done so dirty, they've actually overshadowed the other ichthyological insanity spawned from Satan's septic tank. These are 7 fish that should honestly terrify you more than any shark. This isn't really to substitute one fear for another, but I do think these fish could make a much more traumatizing.
This one looks like an alien. Sorry to stop randomly. It just like, it just looked like, no, not an alien. The Gorgon demon thing that like opens in 4 ways just reminds me of that. Nope. What? Yeah, Demigorgon. Nope, keep them in there. They're not friend-shaped. What do you mean, Riku? You don't think they're friend-shaped? What the?
Nightmare-inducing horror flick than Jaws. And it starts right here. Those eyes belong to a pair of Arapaimas, also known as a Pirarucu. You've definitely seen them before. Does this video ring a bell? It definitely rang his. It's one of the biggest freshwater middle fingers nature forgot to vault, usually growing to over 6 feet long and 200-something pounds. It's bad enough those are NBA point guard measurements, but the beefiest ones can get to 10 feet in length and weigh over 400 pounds. This Jurassic roid guppy usually eats other fish to go with fruits and seeds, but also birds and allegedly even monkeys sitting on branches too close to water. And if you don't believe that, it's because you haven't seen them hunt.
I feel like they're just like Kirby and they're just like they just absorb it. Good luck, I can't seem to recover from that video from Tetris stream. I have a headache that won't go away. Happy late Christmas, Happy New Year. It's all good, Invader. Hope you feel better soon. Thank you for the super chat. Hope you have a good rest of your day and it goes away. I'm sending you good vibes. Big boy. Yeah, they said 10 feet. I think that's... literally, I heard it and I was like, huh? Swallow like a whole hungry snake? Yeah, that's terrifying. Usually snakes, like, it takes a while for them to get everything down. It literally just looks like it's Kirby and it's just like, boom, and it's gone. Because their mouths are giant.
Explosively quick, and the aquatic black hole has been known to confuse feet for fish and violently pull people underwater. One zookeeper reportedly made the mistake of trying to retrieve a glove that had fallen into an arapaima pool, and in a split second got his hand, wrist, and several fingers broken. There's also the fact that a refrigerator-sized fish will yeet themselves out of water in self-defense. And let's talk about that defense.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. If I see a fish this big, I am not putting my fingers or hand or wrist or anything near it. Not even close. I'd be like, hey, fishy, from like 10 feet away.
The plus-size bite jay is covered in heavily armored scales, not only tough enough to tank piranha attacks, locals historically used them as nail files. They've also used their tongues as scrapers, since these fish have teeth growing out of a bony tongue that can be used to effectively crush struggling prey against the roof of their mouths. You know nature got in its bag when it made a fish that can breathe air, and the Antichrist of the Amazon has a modified swim bladder that was repurposed as lungs, meaning this flex of a fish can survive 24 hours out of water.
I was gonna say, how long can they survive out of water? 24 hours out of water, so they have gills and lungs? Well, that's terrifying. Thanks, I hate it. Thanks. The video of the guy getting knocked out came from Florida. Yeah, I would not be putting my face or hands near anything. I don't know why that tank would even be open, to be honest. No, only lungs? Lungs? Wait, let me rewind, let me see. Because I know he said he had lungs.
Tongue that can be used to effectively crush struggling prey against the roof of their mouths. You know nature got in its bag when it made a fish that can breathe air, and the Antichrist of the Amazon has a modified swim bladder that was repurposed as lungs, meaning this flex of a fish can survive 24 hours out of water. On one
Also, they have the swim bladder. Okay.
hand, that means they have to come up for air every 20 minutes or suffer the eternal shame of being a fish that finds a way to drown. But it also works out for them because in low oxygen water where most fish become slow and sluggish, the air merchant menace can pretty much go on a killing streak.
Oh, I was gonna say, how do they survive if they come up every 20 minutes? So they have low oxygen areas. Oh, okay.
Now the question is, could an arapaima pack up a person? While there's no indication they see us as a snack, there are old stories of high-strung assault guppies effectively drowning people, likely by knocking them unconscious and leaving them incapacitated underwater. Not him, he's fine. You can unclench guidelines, he's good. But one man that almost wasn't was Jeremy Wade. He probably needs no introduction, but long story short, he's a zoologist who hosted the show River Monsters, which ended, but only because he caught every fish nature had to offer. But he almost caught an early life retirement after a pissed off paima struck him square in the chest and nearly caused irreversible damage to his heart. Not only did this fish nearly have us singing, the suspect wasn't more than 90 pounds. Remember, the overachievers can press the scales at 400 or, 180 kilograms worth of kill a man. So yeah, the arapaima is a shack.
Yeah, I could see that damaging someone's heart. I could see it. Fake getting knocked out just to scare his friends, but honestly dislike that guy and his content. Oh, yeah, I don't know who that is, but that's not cool if you're faking getting knocked out.
Size, air-breathing, armor-plated predatory vacuum, and strangely enough, it's not the fish I'm most scared of in the Amazon. But we'll get to that. The piranha.
I forgot about piranhas, yeah. See, I always think that the stories that they tell about piranhas that they can just kind of like eviscerate everything in seconds. I feel like it's kind of true, but let's see what he says.
Actually isn't. If If you remember from an earlier video, piranhas might be just as misunderstood as sharks.
Oh.
They're mostly just scavenging opportunists that our childhoods convinced us were way more of an issue. You cannot say the same for their cousins found in the Congo basin of Central Africa. The Goliath tigerfish can grow near.
So it's a bigger piranha. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Yeah. 1-2 bamboozle. I love that. Thanks.
Nearly 5 feet long, over 100 pounds, and they're what people were told piranhas are times 10. They're in the same order, but where piranhas are primarily a swimming cleanup crew, tigerfish actively hunt for their bodies. And you'll find out, nature built this prehistoric
See, now if this was in Subnautica.
problem to do exactly that. They have sharp dagger-like teeth that many swear are comparable to that of a great white, although I personally see them as more conical, like a crocodile, which is a coincidence since the saltwater variety are their only natural predators. But of course, the swimming expletive has also been known to murk smaller crocs. They have eerily strong eyesight to track prey, special organs to detect the vibrations they make underwater, and they're strong enough to brute force their way through the turbulent waters of their hunting grounds. They're considered one of the toughest freshwater fish time left behind, and tigerfish are even on record snatching birds out of the air. Not just birds, but swallows, some of the fastest and most maneuverable out there. Scientists studying them watched as 300 birds got permanently grounded by tigerfish in just over 2 weeks. They're so feared that in many places they're only known by one name, Benga, meaning the dangerous fish. There's even a story of a young girl wearing a belt made out of bottle caps in order to ward off evil spirits. Ironically, it did the exact opposite and attracted a tigerfish who apparently confused the bottle caps for fish scales and
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think bottle caps would be a good thing to have with like fish and I don't know, shiny. Even I feel like that's a magnet for bad things.
nearly bisected the girl, allegedly. It's an extremely fast, explosive vice grip with almost zero prey prejudice. And I'd still rather take a bite from them than the fish up next. And that's cause next is the
See, I keep thinking, how can it get worse? And then he hits, but this thing looks small. It should be fine, right? The other ones are like 5 feet and 10 feet. This should be fine.
Candiru. And a lot of y'all already know what road we're going down. The candiru is a tiny parasite in the Amazon, also nicknamed the vampire fish for their habit of invading the gills of larger fish and scraping the insides to feed off their blood. And with backward-facing spines and a powerful bite, it's nearly impossible to shake it off before.
I feel like I've briefly heard about this before, but I don't remember it shoving itself into the fish. I mean, it's taller than you? No, it's not, Rhyme. Too small, about to just wait. Oh no. Okay, can't wait. 5 millimeters, 5 centimeters? Wait, in different areas of the fish? Okay, let's figure it out.
Completes its liquid transaction. The horror comes from the legend of Candiru being attracted to the chemicals in urine and swimming up the urethra of unlucky humans
I've heard of these things.
and getting stuck up there. A fate that takes surgery to reverse. Imagine a serrated, sentient toothpick in your bathing suit business and you'll see why the violation with gills is so feared. How much of this is even real? Most of the reports of people getting penetrated by peenfish are really sus at best. Apparently, they're not even attracted to the ammonia in human urine in the first place. There's a good chance that the Candiru controversy came from European settlers coming home from long expeditions and telling these long, exaggerated stories to anyone who'd listen for.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought someone told me recently that they don't do that. They only do it to fish. I thought it wasn't like a human thing. I don't know why I thought someone said that.
Status and attention. Yeah, but basically they were probably lying for clout. You have to remember, the whole piranha skinning a cow thing spawned from locals staging an event to impress the president. The truth is, your chances of peeing in the Amazon and getting frontal probed by a fish are about as much as you getting meal prepped by a shark or getting struck by lightning. Oh my bad. And getting struck by lightning. That being said, I'd rather get tag teamed by the pets of Poseidon and the forces of Zeus than have a bloodluster up my urethra, no Franklin. If the odds ain't zero, they're just too high for me. But I'll happily take a Candiru to the Mandiru, then run into aquatic op number 4. In fact,
Yeah, to be fair, I just wouldn't take the chance, even though it's like a small, minimal chance it could actually happen. So I kind of heard it correctly then. There was at least one guy who did get it, and they had to surgically remove it. Yeah, I wouldn't take that chance. I wouldn't risk it for the biscuit. You know what I mean? Not worth it, because that sounds a little painful. I'm not gonna lie.
In fact, I'm so afraid of it, I actually had to break my own rule for this video. The Humboldt squid obviously isn't a fish, but it's the closest thing to a living nightmare on this list. Let's be clear, at 5 feet, about 100 pounds, there are bigger squid. What sets Humboldts apart is they can hunt in
A squid or a kid? I'm sorry, I had to do it.
packs of over 1,000. Yeah, that's 3 zeros like a Tony Snell stat line. Nicknamed Diablo Rojo, there are old fisherman tales of men falling overboard, getting swarmed, and never coming back up. There's also stories of them curiously approaching divers before flipping and trying to rip their masks off. But who needs stories when marine biologist Alex Kirstich can tell you about the time several homicidal squids grabbed him and attempted to drown?
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with a squid. Same thing with octopus. Yeah, no, it's a pass for me. It's a pass for me. It's more like the guy who did it was already peeing blood. Oh, yeah, that would make a lot of sense. In the vast of the universe, the small chances infinitely escalate. From what I remember seeing, he put it in there. What the? Okay, back to squids. What the ham? Yeah, I just wouldn't risk it. See, this is why I like learning about underwater creatures, but I just kind of want to see other people like look at them. I don't want to be in there with them. That's a no. That's a hard pass from me. I don't want to be in the water with them. I'll stare at them. I'll look at pictures and videos, but I don't want to be in the water with them.
Drag him down into the dark maw of the abyss. It gets worse when you realize what exactly happens when a red devil decides to take you to hell. Humboldts aren't just highly intelligent, they're covered in tiny red chromatophores that they can use to rapidly change color in order to communicate with each other. It's like Morse code but for Crip and Calamari. We don't know exactly what it means, but there's a good chance if a Humboldt confronts you and starts violently flashing red, it could be telling a bunch of others you can't see that you're free eats. So likely the last thing you'll see is pulsing red before you get eaten alive.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. What the? That's why they call it Diablo Rojo. Oh, yeah, the red demon squid. I mean, it's a chunky boy. It's pretty big. I've had octopus spaghetti in airport once. Not my favorite, but I'll try it again. I don't think I wanna mess with them anymore. The what they call the devilfish. Yeah, suddenly it makes sense now.
It doesn't help that satanic cephalopods are known for speed eating and are notorious for stripping fish to the bones faster than fishermen can reel them. Add a beak that can easily slice flesh and a bite force that can reportedly crack bone, and I think you see why I'm not exaggerating when I say I'll deal with every other fish on this list than a pack of predatory color coordinating squid. And I don't care what logic says, there's no doubt in my mind this squid would eat a human if they thought they could.
100%. Seeing a pack of those, yeah, no, you're donezo.
Why? Humboldt squid only live about a year. That rapid growth in a short time means they'll rarely pass up an easy meal, even if it's their own kind. Humboldts are highly cannibalistic, and they will not hesitate to turn on a weak or injured member of their own hunting party. There was a study done off the coast of Chile that found that out of over 2,000 squid, more than half held the remains of their own kind in their stomachs. It sounds to me that anything they see as weaker than them is something they can feed off, and the only saving grace for us is they usually only press things smaller than they are. But you don't even have to be seen as food for affiliated squids to be a problem. Like a true xenophobic, they react to most things they don't understand with aggression, and they've even attacked cameras and equipment and left them out of order. But to me, the most disturbing aspect—
So they literally attack you if they feel they can take you on, or if you're smaller / weaker. Yeah, that's not terrifying that they have the ability to just size someone up and be like, this is food. This is food shaped. They're essentially playing hyper offense as soon as they are bored. Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Of getting assaulted by squids is, even if you escape, if you panic and surface too fast, you can get the bends and past tense anyway. That type of psychological horror is what puts the Humboldt here, and wouldn't you know, emotional damage is another symptom of finding out about the next fish. Because now we got the stonefish. Not one of, but the most venomous fish known to man. It's armed with verrucotoxin, and symptoms of getting stung include crippling pain, shock, tissue death, and even paralysis. And speaking of pain, you can be in agony for over 12 hours, and it's enough of an
Okay, I know the stonefish. I know their deal.
eternal jihad to cause hallucinations. Anecdotally, there have been tourists who've stepped on a stonefish only to beg their doctors to chop off the whole foot. Then there's the added threat of, if you don't get out of the water quick enough, it won't even be the venom. You can get paralyzed and catch a stage fatality to drowning. Even if you survive, you can still suffer permanent nerve damage and severe muscle atrophy. But that all wouldn't even be that bad if the stonefish wasn't nature's manifestation of a dick move. The most venomous animals on the planet usually dress with bright colors to warn the rest of the population that they're packing. Stonefish decided to do exactly none of that and instead cosplays as a stone, only to mortally punish you for its camouflage working.
Yeah, look how well that blends in. Stonefish, terrifying. Can't catch me near one of them. Ocean's not worth it. I'm gonna keep it $1.50. Humboldt squid sees a human, Zito's detected. Look at this dude. I mean, I've heard about the stonefish over and over, so I know a lot about it, but like, they're terrifying. They're really terrifying.
Like I said, it's like having invisibility, but also serving the death penalty every time someone steps on your foot. Then you gotta add the fact that there are another fish that can survive 24 hours out of the water, and they have a literal switchblade growing out of their forehead. Yeah, I knew they were a problem ever since one nearly perma-napped Nigel Thornberry. A stone-cloaking toxic minefield of misery, but with stonefish antivenom being the second most administered in Australia, today if you get stung, your chances of surviving are actually pretty good. Not like the next fish, because for this one, there is no antidote.
Wait, the chances of surviving a stonefish are actually pretty good? I thought they were like one of the most toxic ones.
The stonefish might be the most venomous fish, but the pufferfish is arguably the most poisonous thing alive. Quick rule of thumb on the difference is
Okay, interesting cutscene, but like, you could take it? I don't think I could. I'd be cooked. You can't mess the stonefish at all. I don't want to. The stonefish would win. I'd automatically. Antivenom works well, and we have a lot of it. But isn't it like fast acting as well? Because I thought it was like super fast. Pufferfish? Yeah. I always think pufferfish are so doofy, but I forget sometimes that they actually are dangerous. Joy pee poisonous? Oh my god.
bites you and you die, it's venomous. If you bite it and you become a wuzz, it's poisonous. And few things are more poisonous than puffer tetrodotoxin, which is
because you have to consume it. Heard, chef.
Is 1,200 times more of a death sentence than cyanide. Tetrodotoxin interferes with signals between nerves and muscles, causing muscle paralysis and a total shutdown. And of course, the fugu blowfish is considered a delicacy, but if the chef misses a single cut even by a little, you're instantly on the clock. You won't know that happened until your face goes numb and your lips and tongue get this weird prickling feeling. Then, you'd suddenly get a splitting headache and dizziness to go at vomiting and diarrhea as your body desperately tries to purge the poison. But it's already too late and you'd start getting paralyzed, starting with the hands and feet, but slowly spreading out. And by this
Yeah, this is why I will never try fugu. Never. Couldn't be me.
At this point, you likely can't even call for help. Finally, it'd get harder and harder to breathe until you notice the room slowly fade to black, leading to either a coma, seizure, or just death. The permanent kind. Tetrodotoxin essentially flips a kill switch in your body, and there is no answer.
See, look at this little guy. He looks so cute. He's just floating away. Between the lifeguards and being able to buy the antitoxin, you prepared for stonefish. Yeah, assuming that you know it, because, I mean, you would feel the pain immediately, but I would assume people who are in the ocean and are diving and stuff would understand what a stonefish is. Dolphins are smoking fugu to get high? Ain't no way. He's just a little puffy guy. Look at him. He's just a little scared.
Though, the only treatment is hooking you up to a respirator to breathe for you and praying it passes. The poison puffball is such a problem, it makes you forget they also have teeth that can bite clean through your finger. In fact, it's more than enough to violate a scorpion. And I don't even know how to describe what they do to crabs. Turning crustacean into crustacean with a smile, no less, is criminal. There's nothing funny about getting caught in that bite, with reports of pufferfish mutilating the genitals of men, and one case in 2008 where a Cambodian child had his coin purse sliced in half by a pufferfish. And unlike the kangaroo, this ain't a myth. Have your privates out by a puffer and you might just get...
Okay. Really? Really with the carrot? Really? The timing was impeccable on that pause. Yeah, he's not just a little guy. Don't go near him. Don't go near him. If you see a pufferfish, 180 out of there. People say skydivers and mountain climbers are crazy. You got people literally eating a fish that can literally kill you in a heartbeat who's more crazy in that scenario. True.
So
Oh.
that's 6 of the sinister 7, but before we get to the last one, we got honorable mentions. The fact that there's a fish that weaponized electricity enough to decommission a caiman and we just accept that is kinda crazy. And the thing is, it might not even be the voltage, but it's getting knocked out in shallow water that'll get you. Swordfish are one of the fastest.
Wait, what was the fish he mentioned? Is it the moray that knocks you out with electric?
Enough to decommission a caiman and we just accept that is kinda crazy. And the thing is, it might not even be the voltage, but it's getting knocked out in shallow water that'll get you. Swordfish are one of the fastest.
He didn't say what it was. What was it?
Electric.
Oh, electric eel. Okay. I was gonna say, I don't know why I thought moray. I meant electric eel. My bad. Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, he didn't say the name. And then we have the. Why is the swordfish dangerous? Okay.
Fastest things in the sea. They also have a built-in melee weapon equipped capable of inflicting life-altering harm. In 2015, a Hawaiian man was fatally struck in the chest while trying to catch one. Another man in Malaysia bled to death after a swordfish yeeted itself out of the water and also RNG'd him in the chest.
See, I thought swordfish would be friend-shaped. Apparently not. Okay.
Swordfish are also on record shanking sharks and even bleeding out sea turtles. The sheep's head fish. Really only because...
What? Why does it have teeth? What the? Swordfish are fast? Yeah, I don't know why I thought swordfish were just chill guys. Pretty sure the moray eel's the second jaw like a xenomorph. That's terrifying. Swordfish have serious attitude. I feel like I never hear about swordfish. It's a swordfish. And then we have this guy. Yeah, what? Dentists love this fish. Like, what the? Look at all those teeth.
That mouth. Shrimpophobics be damned. The Titan triggerfish is a highly aggressive honey badger with gills capable of dishing out severe injuries with the same teeth they use for crunching coral, sea urchins, and even a crown of thorns starfish. The trigger might as well be named after their temper, and this 1.5 vibe check is a big reason why beginner divers never go back in the water. Speaking of big, the Goliath grouper.
Oh.
At 8 feet up to 800 pounds, the fish the size of a small car feels more like a leftover Jurassic prop. Lucky for us, most divers describe it as a gentle giant with the temperament of a St. Bernard. Although a St. Bernard didn't allegedly swallow an entire kid in the Florida Keys. Allegedly.
So friendly, but not quite friendly. Okay, still stay away. Yeah, okay, those were honorable mentions, by the way. We still have the last fish. Fish has a Hulk temper. Ugh. That's a big boy. Yes, he said they mostly are friendly, but, you know, be careful. Yoink.
Since we're on the subject, the last fish on this list are catfish. And yeah, that's kind of cheating. There's over 3,000 species of catfish, even including the genital jihad, the candiru. Catfish are like the trash compactors of the fish family, which isn't a problem until you see just how big they can really get. And once a catfish gets big enough, there aren't a lot of things alive they won't try to eat. We've seen armadillos, turtles, and even unaware seagulls get bored by a catfish. There's a species in France that figured out how to
We just learned about the pigeons being eaten by the catfish. Small world.
stalk and hunt bathing city pigeons. Another learned to wait by cave entrances to suck up any exhausted bats that fall in. There was even a catfish nicknamed Kuno the Killer who terrorized a German lake and somehow caught and ate someone's dog. Basically, they're all the shit I've talked about pelicans being, just in fish form.
I was gonna say, that kind of reminds me of pelicans. And they get big. I used to have a catfish. But like a little baby one. And then he ate all the other fish. And then he was the only surviving fish. Until he passed away like 2 years later. Absolutely love the ocean and maritime culture, but won't deny its dangers. Oh yeah, I'll stare at all the fish and learn about them, but I don't want to be within miles of them. That's a hard pass. For some weird reason. Yeah, crazy.
The question is, if a catfish has ever eaten a live human, and it isn't even if they would, but if they could. The Wells catfish can grow to 10 feet long and cap out at 300 pounds.
300 pounds? That's a chunky boy.
Cone catfish can also get to 10 feet, and the heaviest one ever recorded was pushing 650 pounds. If there's a catfish that could stomach a human, it should be one of these, but there's a slightly smaller catfish that was believed to be a legit man-eater. In the late 90s and early 2000s, a series of fatal attacks on people in the Kali River had people convinced there was something in the water hunting humans. In these attacks, victims were suddenly pulled underwater in front of people, only for their bodies to never be recovered.
That's terrifying. Oh yeah, no, if the catfish get big enough, yeah, 07. kind of stay away from catfish and pelicans. She's less than 1 bite. For them, I feel like a normal human being, average height, see how big they get? They get 10 feet. You'd have to be smaller, I mean, bigger than 10 feet to survive. That's not a boy, that's a... You're not wrong, Harold. Yeah, just don't go near water anymore, guys. Just stay on land. Land is even... No, we're safe nowhere.
2007, Adal Kumar was swimming with friends when he was violently dragged.
Yeah, are we sure the Loch Ness Monster wasn't, like, a catfish? Like, are we sure? Like, are we sure? Because, like, I'm starting to, like... I'm starting to get a little suspicious. I mean, average height, and they could take me out and see me try. Rom, they're 10 feet long. Convert that into non-American units. Convert it. Seen a video on bears yet? I feel like I've heard about bears.
Underwater, and while he was never seen again, friends caught a glimpse of something that they could only describe as an elongated pig. Crocs and bull sharks were considered, but the prime suspect ended up being the goonch. At about over 6 feet, 200 pounds, the goonch is usually smaller than the whales and the makung. But it's feared that the practice of burning funeral pyres by the river led to the equal opportunists developing a taste for human flesh. And while it's a stretch to say a corpse-happy catfish could swallow an adult, it becomes a little less believable with children. There's no solid proof of a catfish catching a person, but they for sure can off one. The biggest ones can easily overpower you, if not just knock you out and drown you. Not to mention a majority are venomous, with those spines putting both experience.
Of course they're also venomous. Yippee!
Fishermen and oblivious bystanders in the hospital. They also have a nasty sandpaper-like bite that can easily draw blood. But what really makes them a living horror movie is their intelligence. The ones packing up pigeons, they weren't always doing that, but they pretty much ate everything else around them and were forced to adjust. So it's anyone's guess what could happen if they gain a taste for humans. And with catfish being swimming tongues with over 175,000 taste buds across their bodies, yeah, I doubt acquiring taste takes long. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, try not to get catfished out here. If you'd like to see me swim with slightly less freaky fish, the full GoPro footage of me in Hawaii will be uploaded to my Patreon. And with that last second self-promo out the way, I'ma see y'all in the next one.
You're a mean one, Mr. Gooch. That's... Yeah, well, that's fun. We have one creature and just one that isn't venomous or poisonous. Yeah, can we get just one? Can we just one of them, please? One, please. One singular fish. Oh my gosh, Creature of the Deep Sea is also good. Wait, from Casual? Because I will probably watch all of Casual Geographic's videos. He's amazing. The way he just delivers it and says everything and just it's phenomenal. So cat good, catfish bad. Yeah, I didn't realize a catfish would be more terrifying than a cat. What about cat girls? The top tier. Just one, a Christmas gift. Now I can see what I mean by the idea of sharks not the scariest thing in the water. Yeah, I'm starting to gather a little bit of the information. Yeah. That kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Oh my gosh. That was a good one. God, I love Casual. He's great. Okay, pause. Okay, let's get our last video for the day. Okay, I haven't watched Extinct Zoo at all. So I don't think I've ever seen any of the videos, so, but this artwork here is the banger. It looks like it's eating a dinosaur. Is a freshwater fish similar to piranhas called the pacu, like they're herbivore piranhas, but apparently they're aggressive and munch on other fish. They can eat on other fish, that's fine, but they said that one fish, was it the goonch or was it the catfish, that a taste for blood? Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Last clip has a man hugging his pet catfish. Aw, nuts. I'll go back and watch it later. Bring up the pagu because they will bite you, and apparently stories of them mistaking human... Oh, I love that. For fallen fruit. Dinos mentions as an arc reference. Let's go. Get away from the... Night-night, Jim. Get a good night's sleep. Okay, this is from Extinct Zoo. When a sea dried up and left hell behind.
Have you ever
literally. Okay, I think I might have to up the volume a little bit first. Just because it sounds a little quieter. So just a smidgen. Oh my god, you'll see. I've never seen any of his videos, so I hope it's interesting.
Wondered why we call some creatures in the water sea monsters, but we don't call things on land monsters? Well, there's probably a good reason for that, which is that the waters of Earth, not the land, hold the most terrifying, mysterious, and sometimes unbelievable
What are those?
predators that usually always out-nightmare their terrestrial counterparts. And because there's been life for around 4 billion years, and everything is constantly changing, it's only natural that tons of scary and frankly twisted oceans, seas, and their inhabitants have come and gone. But in the end, only one can take the crown as the deadliest. And it's hard to argue against that title going to a specific ancient seaway that existed tens of millions of years ago in the most unlikely spot of all. And what's really strange is that as fate would
I feel like you guys are trying to tell me words. Bless you, Pen. I can't even pronounce that. I don't know what any of this is.
have it, its domain would one day give way to arguably the deadliest piece of land on Earth as well. And this wasn't just some coincidence, as its creation as the deadliest waters, and then the rise of the deadliest land, were both ultimately tied to a single event, which put the world in a collision course with both, so to speak. It all began roughly 100 million years ago in North America, when at the time, the continent looked remarkably...
Okay, sorry, distracted 100 million years ago, but I just see Mia, and I went, haha, Mia. 100 million years ago, okay.
A lot like it does today, at least from space. But when you got down on the ground, you'd find that nothing was normal. And I'm not even talking about all the dinosaurs or pterosaurs mocking about, but rather the land itself, as it was undergoing immense...
Okay, I was gonna say something really silly, but I want you guys to just lock in for a second with me. I was like, how come they don't have actual footage of the dinosaurs? At least I thought about it before I said it, but I was like, why is it like a 3D rendition? I don't understand. I'm sorry, apparently I didn't get enough sleep. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Freaking love you, God. At least it clicked before I just said it out loud, because I was like, why would they do that? That'd be a little difficult. Yeah. Why don't we have dino selfies? That's a brain rot moment. I need more sleep. Oh my gosh. Okay. First I watch you say I've made the right choice. I do sometimes make funky little decisions, huh? They were in Jurassic Park. True. Okay, back to the video. I'm sorry, I had to share that with you guys.
chaotic changes, with two tectonic plates bashing into each other on the regular, causing frequent massive volcanic eruptions and creating vast mountain ranges. The volcanic activity alone likely upended life in the area and made things rather difficult. But it was really the changing the land itself that threw a wrench in the timeline, as while the two plates were colliding, they created a massive basin that ran vertically down much of North America. Now, typically basins always have an impact on the environment, yet this time around, things were a little bit different, as everything else about North America supercharged just how terrifying it turned out to be. For starters, the continent was less elevated at the time, and the world in general was way hotter, resulting in water levels being higher than normal.
Right.
These 2 points combined resulted in mainland North America eventually being invaded by water, which began in the north with the Arctic Ocean rushing down through the basin where it eventually connected with the Gulf of Mexico, thus effectively slicing the continent in two and creating the Western Interior Seaway, which in my opinion is the deadliest body of water the Earth has ever seen. At its greatest extent, this seaway measured some 600 miles or 970 kilometers wide, and was over 2,000 miles or 3,200 kilometers long. And yet, it was remarkably shallow, only having a maximum depth of 2,500 feet.
Wow, really? Could we go back to one continent and make traveling easier? Thanks. That would make it crazy. Take it easy, Diamar. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your night. Possible but complicated? I mean, I know a lot of this stuff. It's like general stuff, so I'm trying to see where he's going with this.
Or 760 meters. Now yes, that's still uncomfortably deep as far as swimming goes, but for its measurements, it was basically as thin as paper. And to really drive this home, 6 lakes on Earth right now have it beat in the depth department, and the Mediterranean Sea has a max depth almost 7 times greater, which thus makes you wonder, how could there be any sea monsters? However, it was this extreme shallowness of the Western Interior Seaway that largely resulted in an explosion of monsters, as it led to a large percent of it being shallow, warm, and sunlit, resulting in booming coral reefs and highly productive epipelagic and mesopelagic zones. Then, on top of it virtually being all tropical shallows, it also acted like a mega watershed, collecting runoff from both of the new island continents it created, Laramidia and Appalachia. This diluted the waters, but it also led to a lot of resources being dumped in, making the soup even more hardy for life, or so you could say. And this isn't even factoring in the gobsmacking amount of environments the seaway birthed, as besides coasts, you now had the new addition of lagoons, wetlands, marshes, deltas, and more. All of this combined was like roids for life, and it didn't take long until, simply put, you could find every monster you wanted on demand in their final forms, and thus leading to its loving nickname, Hell's Aquarium, if that's any indication for you.
That thing looks funky. Okay, so all right, we got a lot of background information now. I want to know about them now, because look how cool that thing looks.
For starters, reptiles were largely represented by multiple giant mosasaurs, some of which were the largest of their kinds to ever live. And they were in many ways the head honchos of the seaway, and went after just about anything they could catch thanks to their titanic skulls, jaws, and chunky teeth, which were perfectly designed for cutting through massive bodies. The most famous, of course, was the Mosasaurus hoffmanni, but it wasn't actually the most common face, with that title going instead to the near equally giant Tylosaurus, as well as the...
I'm not going to remember any of these names. They look cool. They look similar, but I'm just going to call it, that one dinosaur, the Saurus.
The smaller Platycarpus and Clydastes. However, because the seaway was just so abundant, mosasaurs ended up being not the only apex predator you had to watch out for, as large, hyper-predatory sharks, also called the water's home, who often can measure 5 meters or 16 feet long, and in some genera could even outsize the biggest great whites ever recorded. And thanks to their teeth, speed, and sheer aggressiveness, it actually seems that in a few cases, these sharks ended up becoming much more troublesome for certain life than the mosasaurs were. So with giant mosasaurs and sharks to worry about, this alone would be enough for most to get the picture not to take a dip here. And still, the list of killers remained long, as giant carnivorous fish were plentiful too.
I love giant carnivorous fish. Let's go. Something Saurus noted. Yeah, when everything ends in Saurus, it doesn't stick. Something, just this mosasaur. Yeah, what's it called? A Saurus. Mosasaurus is related to a monitor lizard, so the Komodo dragons related to these massive sea lizards. See, that would have been cool to know in the video, though. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's relative to Komodo dragons. I'm gonna be like, whoosh, love Komodo dragons. That's like 30 euros. Okay, Rom. All right, calm down. Let's learn about these carnivorous fish now.
Weren't only quite ugly, but could also gulp down.
They're not ugly. They're fine.
Man-sized prey, whole, not caring about what you were, as long as you fit down its throat. And then on top of that, you even had krakens, i.e. cephalopods, to worry about as well, as it was in this relatively small sea that the largest cephalopod to ever live emerged, the
I'm waiting for him to say, completely something unhinged and how, these things are dangerous, because, again, I look at this and I'm like, oh, he's just a little guy, he can't, but then I realized we just learned about the squids and everything, too, so I'm sure he's not just a little guy. And look at him, what, can they fit their tentacles through the gills like that? That doesn't look safe. That's not safe. Silence, Rob, oh my god, now I'm afraid.
Pizosia, which weighed up to 1.5 tons. In other words, nearly 3 times heavier than the colossal squid.
Okay, I didn't know they were that big. 1.5 tons? Oh, okay, I take it back immediately. I ate my words in about 4 seconds. Okay. Oh, yeah, I know things back then were bigger, but 3,000 pounds? That's a lot bigger. Look at the comparison to the diver. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a pass. Okay, maybe he's not just a little guy. All right, I take it back. I take it back right now. I ate my own words within seconds. Oh, God.
Squid, our biggest tentacled friend of today, which also makes this the largest invertebrate of all time. This being said, of course, not everything that called these waters home were necessarily giant hunters, as there were plenty of plesiosaurs around that preferred smaller fishes, as well as giant sea turtles that weighed 3 tons, but were rather chill, enjoying smaller sized fish and jellyfish. And then you also had a lot of animals that you could still expect to find in seas to this day, like obviously a diverse range of fish, other cephalopods, corals, algae, and so on. And as one might expect, it wasn't just aquatic creatures that got a piece of the pie. as the rich waters led to a mind-blowing amount of pterosaurs, and may have been directly behind the most successful one ever, at least from a number standpoint, the Pteranodon, which we
I was gonna say pterodactyl. I was close. God dang it. The higher oxygen concentration and huge prey species allowed things to grow a lot bigger. Yeah, that's terrifying. I'm glad that's not how it is now, because I already don't leave my house, so like that's kind of terrifying.
know of through over 1,200 different specimens, and each of them could be 6 meters or 20 feet long, so by no means small. And then on top of this, it was also thanks to the sea's creation that we got one of the largest crocodilians ever, Deinosuchus, an 8-ton behemoth with a bite strong enough to obliterate bones, while also having absolutely overpowered armor which covered nearly its entire body. And to make this an even scarier prospect, this croc did not necessarily live solely in the sea, as it was found primarily along the seaway's coasts and adjoining waterways.
Well, that makes sense with like current crocodiles and alligators. They land and sea. That checks out. The Loch Ness Monster House Fred's Run. Yeah, it's just a little terrifying.
Giving you just one more reason to steer clear. And ultimately, no place was spared by the sea's influence, as even fully terrestrial animals got a power-up from the seaway's formation, mainly since the division of the continent resulted in 2 brand new islands, Laramidia and Appalachia, which both became very diverse with different ecosystems, and resulting in North American dinosaurs undergoing a lot of diversification. So much, in fact, that when the golden era of the seaway began, the land was climaxing too, so to speak, reaching levels of life unseen in ages, and both islands ended up producing their very own unique animals. And if you were planning a time travel getaway to one of them, here are a few key differences you might want to know. The western island, Laramidia, had on average much larger dinosaurs, possessing numerous sauropods which were more rare in Appalachia, while ceratops and ankylosaurids were much more prevalent here as well. You could also expect to encounter far more snakes while walking around. And
Oh my gosh, snakes would be bigger too. Glad this video explains why humans weren't around back then, because it checks out. Yeah, we wouldn't have made it. This is literally just playing Ark. This is how I feel. Ratu the giant alligator dino was called Sarcasticus. Yeah, I laughed at the name. I don't know if you heard me chuckle. Yeah, I guess the PTSD. Yeah, these things are a little scary, a little afraid. I'm glad I only can see them in a video game, you know, or in videos, you know, pictures and stuff.
though lizards in general were less common, the continent did have a pretty major insect problem, so make sure to bring bug spray. Though to be honest, I doubt you'd notice it
Oh, I hate bugs. Okay, ready for me to be grossed out. Okay.
that much, as the biggest problem was the presence of relatively large tyrannosaurs, of whom a few evolved massive skulls and bodies, outsizing anything found in Appalachia. Yet, with all this said, don't think the eastern island was some peaceful paradise. No siree. Because while larger tyrannosaurs hadn't really taken root there, many smaller, yet still deadly ones did. Namely, the Dryptosaurids, who typically—
Yo, he's got the drip though. Okay, Dryptosaurus. This is an amazing pose, by the way. Kudos to the museum. That clock here plus the giant snakes in this world, whatever reason, I love these animals. That's why my tag is a crocodile. That's still terrifying. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near these things. The bugs were also a lot bigger back then. Yeah, I don't want to think about the bugs. That I would imagine an ant, like, oh, no thanks. Nope. Not even the size of a loaf of bread. I would throw up.
had longer, more versatile arms and claws. Plus, Appalachia had a dromaeosaur infestation too, as well as an increased number of large nodosaurs, hadrosaurs, lizards, and then get this.
Nodosaurs, hadrosaurs, lizards. Nice. And then this one, which I can't even pronounce.
Odontosaurs, or at least one unnamed kind. And then, in a twist, it was here that dinosaurs met their match, as Appalachia was eventually overran by crocodilians. And not just the Deinosuchus, who was the most plentiful here, but also numerous other kinds of aquatic, semi-aquatic, and even terrestrial crocs. And for what it's worth, I'll also mention that for a short time in the early days, Allosauridia, and even the Acrocanthosaurus, possibly called this place home. So clearly, while life inside the western interior seaway was thriving, so was life on land. And it wouldn't be crazy to have called North America the most chaotic place on Earth, both in terms of—
Okay, random, I know he's talking about something else, but when the crocodiles do this little roll thing, it's so cute. It's so cute. Cartar have a favorite large theropod. Oh no. There was one bug that was about as long as a full-grown man is tall. No thanks. That's a pass from me. It's a pass from me. Yo, isn't it kind of cute? He's just doing a little rolling.
Land and sea. But the western interior seaway still had one final trick up its sleeve, as its presence had unknowingly laid the foundation for the most iconic dinosaurs of all time. While the sea had always kept animals on their toes by fluctuating in terms of sea level, things started to take a permanent turn some 70 million years ago, as the water started to recede, and would basically never stop, courtesy of the continental plates starting to uplift, resulting in the land rising higher and thus slowly draining the waters. While the sea receded, its disappearance, as well as the plate movements itself, had large physical impacts, and influenced the climate too, which potentially resulted in the fact that within a couple million years, only 20% of the dinosaurs from the seaway's glory days were left standing. Not to mention that many in the waters disappeared too, like Cretoxorhina,
Are they really gone, though? Are they really? North America was the most chaotic place on Earth. It was, but it still is, too. You're so real for that, TJ. It's a cute little roll thing. I asked the death roll. Okay, well, I wouldn't want to be in the death roll, but if you're looking at it, you're like, okay, look at him. He's doing flips. He's doing 360s over and over.
Kalon, and Deinosuchus. So at first glance, this may all seem bad for life, and good for any potential time traveler looking to stay in one piece. However, as the saying goes, one man's, or dinosaurs, misfortune is another's opportunity. And while we do not know exactly where the seaway stood by 68 million years ago, we do know that it was greatly reduced, and in doing so, had created a very peculiar situation, as it opened up a huge amount of new land ripe for the taking, and created fertile soil through the sediment it left behind. And it was in this very vacuum that the most infamous place on Earth arose, which housed animals so legendary that of all the formations we know of, it has become the best known, and that is Hell Creek. Its domain stretched out across portions of present-day Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, and South Dakota, which had all prior been completely submerged by the seaway. And in its absence, the area had become a vast floodplain littered with swamps, forests, rivers, and lakes, which are all great for life. But something was still different about this place, as it was home to a lot of dinosaurs who were also record breakers, chief among them, possibly the largest predator to have ever walked the earth.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex. It was partially thanks to the seaway's reduction and fauna turnover that it became the sole large predator in North America, and was without a doubt the baddest predator on the entire planet at the time, and perhaps ever, at least on land, as it was built like an absolute tank that can only be truly
He's got a big head and little arms.
Appreciated when comparing it to other giant carnivorous theropods. And for now, it tentatively remains the biggest of them all, at least from a weight standpoint, with the largest known femur indicating a weight of possibly 12.5 tons.
A femur? 12.5 tons? What the? The largest predator ever walked the earth? Your mother? Well, I didn't know my mom was a T-Rex fan. That's crazy. Imagine T-Rex trying to make a bed. It just seems so silly that T-Rex is like the most known like predator for everything, but he doesn't even really use his arms. The femur indicated 12.5 tons total of the whole thing. Okay, I thought the femur itself was just 12.5. I was like, excuse me? Holy macaroni. Okay, well, yeah, that's a little scary. It's got a big mouth. Yeah, but like, I mean, I guess it's got some mobility too, but it just seems crazy that like it's a big jaws. Well, yeah, I guess that checks out. There's like nothing else that could attack it besides its own kind. You don't need big arms with big powerful jaws. I mean, true. All I can see is this guy's arm can't even scratch if something itches. Freaking weak. Yeah, it can't even scratch his tummy. Arms were still useful and strong back then. There was an old theory they were used for tickling or stimulating the oh, well, that's fun. Shark with legs. But like sharks, I mean, I guess sharks are well known in the water, but there were bigger things.
While average sizes were between 5.4 and 8 tons. And just for good measure, the biggest complete specimen, dubbed Scotty, also holds the title as the largest completed theropod specimen known thus far. And as the rule goes, with great size comes even greater jaws. And the T-Rex had a titanic head, which was larger than a grown human, and filled with giant, pointed, and slightly serrated teeth that can be pretty much summarized as lethal bananas.
Banana for scale. Thank you. Thank you, scientists. Very nice.
And were absolutely overpowered thanks to massive muscles, which let it bite down with over 60,000 newtons of force. Which, to put that into perspective, is 3 times greater than the current strongest bite force on Earth.
That's terrifying, according to some studies. That's still terrifying, even if it's an inkling more than that. But okay, yeah, because they're a bit bigger and, you know, taller and stuff. So some stuff I've heard that Triceratops is probably one animal that basically make a T-Rex think twice. You think so? Is it because they can't, like... Well, they can still bend down and bite them, but like they have like the spikes in the front, right? Paleontology is a bit of a problem that the most famous dinos get the most money to study, so we know a lot about them and not a lot about the less popular ones, which gets worse over time. No, that's not cool. I mean, I like T-Rexes. I think they're interesting, but yeah, I want to learn about all of them.
And is strong enough to pulverize armor, muscle, and bone. And upon impact, it basically vaporized everything it touched, as evidenced by fossilized turds, which contained bones smashed so finely that they were like sand. On top of this, despite their appearance, the Rex also had deceptively strong arms.
We're gonna learn about the arms. Oh my god, they heard me. They're like, you're wrong. Their arms are great. Here's why.
That together could pick up weight close to half a ton, or pin struggling animals. And then to complete the package, besides having remarkable vision and smell, there's also a chance that this creature was social, possibly forming packs, or at least congregating when blood was spilt. So, not great. And in the end, this was pretty darn close to a perfect predator, and its size, plus bite, allowed it to hunt giant herbivores that were often absolute units themselves, being off the menu for the vast majority of other predators. So clearly the Rex was one bad apple, and the last predator you'd want to run into, which is why Hell Creek was so deadly, as it was here that the king was the strongest, with a paleo study finding that it was the second most common dinosaur. And while it did live elsewhere in America, 85% of named specimens have come from this one place alone, so good luck trying to avoid one. And for the cherry on top, the T-Rex was quite rowdy, even when not hunting, as among specimens, many show signs of nasty fights, and in some cases, bear evidence of cannibalism.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the only thing that would attack it is itself, it seems like it. I mean, I know a lot about dinos, but it's all from the land before time, so it might not be accurate. Same. Literally same. That and parts of Jurassic Park, I guess. Oh yeah, fossil poop. So a T-Rex could still win an arm wrestling match against you. Yeah, they would still win. They would still win. We're just cooked. And I was like, oh, they don't use their arms. That's pointless. Just kidding, psych.
And honestly, the only saving grace was that due to its absurd robustness, the Rex wasn't exactly cheetah-like, and probably didn't bother much with smaller fleet-footed prey. But don't you
Ah yes, its only downfall. It's not as fast. Thank goodness. Imagine if T-Rexes could just, like, zoom past you. Just, like, you know, like 200 miles per hour. They'd have no chance. Triceratops is head on a ball, so it could literally rotate its head in basically a circle. Yeah, and it has the horn, so it's somewhere. But look at this. Literally the fight we're talking about right now. It's crazy. T-Rex had the largest eye of any land creature ever, so probably had the best vision regardless of what Jurassic Park says. I never doubted they wouldn't have good vision. I know their smell must be, like, impeccable. Look at those nostrils. Look at that nose. Basically, no matter what T-Rex goes, the head of the Triceratops will always be looking at, and that's why Triceratops kind of scares. Yeah, but they can only do so much. Like, look, there's 2 T-Rexes now. So, like, you're cooked. One-on-one, I suppose, but, like, this isn't looking too good.
worry though? Because while the Tyrannosaurus was the sole giant killer, Hell Creek was home to a lot of little killers too. Relatively little, that is. One of which may not have been so unrelated to it. The Nanotyrannus. A much faster and nimbler predator, but who was still uncomfortably big, hitting a
He looks like a T-Rex. Sorry, Monster Hunter mentioned.
maximum of 1.5 tons, and likely hunting things more close to our size, if you get my drift. Now, you may know that it's not really agreed upon what exactly this little nightmare was, as some say it was a juvenile T-Rex, while others think it was a unique genus. But frankly, I don't know if that really matters, because regardless of its true nature, it was still deadly, swift, and upended any potential peace for smaller animals. And then, in addition to many tyrants, you also had to reconcile with the fact that Hell Creek was a haven for raptors. Ironically, the
Yeah, I feel like a lot of raptors would be a pain in the butt too.
one that we associate most with the T-Rex, the Velociraptor, was not present in Hell Creek, as they didn't even live in North America, but instead we had other raptors, which were honestly much more scary, with the most common one being the Acaroraptor, who did actually happen to be very close related to the Velociraptor, but was slightly larger, measuring up to 3 meters or 10 feet long, and weighing the same as big Bernese mountain dogs. Like others of its kind, it was armed with lethal sickle claws and a light build, granting it both speed, agility, and deadliness. And what's more is that, like the king, this guy had a nasty bite, just for very different reasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say, raptors look really familiar to T-Rexes. I feel like they're like almost, not one the same, but like a smaller version. So it makes sense that to be terrifying. And if I remember correctly, they travel in like packs, which makes it even worse. But imagine Raptor Doggo as a pet. Oh, it'd be sick. If they were trained and didn't attack you, that'd be sick. Also, why did the eyes in here look so human? That's creeping me out. I don't like that.
seeing that its serrated teeth were backed by a relatively weak jaw, resulting in applying weaker, yet rapid bites to slash, cut, and incur blood loss in prey. And let's just say this seemed to do the trick, as it ended up being one of the 8 most common dinosaurs in the area.
Unrelated, it kind of reminds me, it kind of looks like a vulture. It gives me like kind of strange vulture vibes. Huh. Just click now.
And then on top of this, while rarer, you also had to worry about a much greater nuisance, but still of the same category, the Dakotaraptor. This fellow dromaeosaur was built a bit like the Acaroraptor, having light springy bones. The thing is though, is that it was absolutely massive for a raptor, measuring up to 6 meters or 19.7 feet, and weighing a bit more than even a grizzly bear. And of course, when you supersize a raptor, you get supersized claws too, with its being as long as a large chef's knife. So, about 9 inches from top to bottom, allowing it to pierce extremely deep into prey, puncturing and destroying vital organs. And what's more, is that its flexor tubercle, the part responsible for wielding the claw, was built in a way which indicated that it may have had the greatest slashing power of any dromaeosaur. The only good news here, for herbivores and time travelers, is that recently, there has been a debate on if this predator had even existed, as some paint it to be chimeric. In other words, the bones that make it up may have come from more than one animal. But regardless, this still means these bones came from something. And the other raptors sure seem to have their own fair share of scandals too, as while another one, the Sarnitholestes, definitely existed, no one is certain if it survived long enough to see Hell Creek or had died earlier. And hopefully it's the latter, because frankly, the area did not need any more predators, because among the ones that did exist, there was already plenty enough carnage. And yet, you do not become the scariest land on Earth with just deadly carnivores. You also need equally intimidating herbivores, which is what you definitely got in Hell Creek. And I mean that to the fullest extent, as literally the average Joe in the area was the Triceratops, one of the largest ceratops, if not the largest, to have ever lived. To get a good idea of what this beast was like, imagine an African elephant, but more robust, meaner, and equipped with 2 pointed horns and a massive shielded head. Now, you have some
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, I could see it. I can see
of
it.
what you're dealing with. And most predators can only dream of taking one of these guys down, with the larger ones sometimes weighing 10 tons. And even for the king himself, the T-Rex, they were no joke, with each of their 2 enlarged horns measuring over 3 feet or 1 meter long. And the Triceratops is actually the only dinosaur with direct evidence of having injured a T-Rex. And even amongst themselves, their brutalness was shown, as 14% of all specimens had damage to their heads, reflecting intraspecific competition. Additionally, it was also joined by the nearly equal giant Torosaurus, which just added that much more spiky horns to the neighborhood. Now, any formation would be iconic for having just one of the largest ceratopsids ever, but being big was simply the norm here. I mean, just ask the Ankylosaurus, the heaviest ankylosaurid ever discovered.
I've been saying these names all wrong. I thought it was Ankylosaurus. Okay.
This biological tank was armed, or rather armored, to the teeth, possessing bony osteoderms that were wider than dinner plates and covered most of its upper body, providing immense defense and heft. And while it was quite a bit smaller than the T-Rex or Triceratops in both length and height, it still gave them a run for their money in weight, with the largest clocking in at 8 tons.
8 tons? Oh my gosh. Elephant, but with hippo with a shield. Yeah, I was like, I know what those dinosaurs are, but he put it like a perfect comparison. Gets sad, even when a dinosaur you like gets labeled as a chimera, meaning it wasn't even a real dinosaur anymore. Or aren't they still finding out more about dinosaurs that just like kind of change over time because they're just discovering more things?
And it just so happens that it was also joined by other very armored and robust ankylosaurs, such as the Denversaurus. But what really made the ankylosaur so special, and an absolute menace, was its tail.
Can't believe the dinosaur was named after Denver. That's crazy.
Or rather, what lay at the end of it, as it had 2 monstrous osteoderms that formed a hulking club that was then powered by flexible yet strong muscles.
Yeah, this thing would scare me. Because this literally just, I mean, I know it's like Pokemon are based on these things, but this thing just seems like a murder tale.
That resulted in it being swung with greater forces than 370 professional baseball players swinging a bat combined. And based off of more recent studies, it possibly goes up to 1,000 players combined. So, enough to shatter even a T-Rex's leg upon impact.
Okay.
And while not set in stone, it is one of the few large animals from Hell Creek that's yet to be found with any damage tied to predators. Meaning,
yeah, a really powerful wrecking ball, but you'd have to like swing your butt at the T-Rex and get like his, because I would assume that it would crush his bones. I would assume so. We know T-Rex ate Triceratops quite regularly, as we have multiple Triceratops fossils with the T-Rex teeth embedded in them. See, that's cool. See, we need to do more research about these. That's cool. Yeah, ouch.
It was such a beast that even the biggest theropods in existence left it alone. And even the stereotypical dinosaur punching bag of the land, i.e. hadrosaurs, would have been in most cases an untouchable unit, as here we had the Edmontosaurus.
Huh.
This hadrosaur was among the biggest to ever grace the earth. And most forget that once in a blue moon, specimens indicate that exceptional individuals could grow to be 13 meters or 43 feet long, and most likely weighed more than most T-Rexes that it lived with. And sure, it didn't have any clear visible weapons, but as far as titans go, it had speed, surprisingly powerful legs, and a robust tail. So think of a mega-sized bull, just without the horns.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. Their tails can only move in one axis, so it can't bend upwards. Oh, so then they can't really fight against the T-Rex unless the T-Rex is bending down low. Okay.
And then throw in some deadlier kicks and a huge tail as well. So suffice to say, it probably wasn't easy pickings, despite how hadrosaurs are often depicted. And that's even before factoring in their tendency to stick to large herds, the scale of which would make anything today look absolutely laughable. So between all these giants, you pretty much had to be a titan amongst titans to even fathom getting by here. And lower to the floor, smaller predators still had their work cut out for them. Because remember that trend about them being big? Well, it extended to others too. For example, one of the 4 pachycephalosaurs, known in Hell Creek, was the largest of its entire clade, being close to half a ton, and had a built-in battering ram that
I know it's terrible, and I know their heads to protect them, but my first thought was bald. I'm sorry.
it was very generous with using, showcased by multiple specimens found with cranial dents and cracks. There was also a good amount of unusually big oviraptors and ornithomimosaurs too, who often go forgotten about, but were quite diverse. The most notable among them being the Struthiomimus and Anzu, who interestingly enough were not predators, but rather herbivores or omnivores, with both being heftier than your typical human, but considerably faster. And in the case of the Struthiomimus, reconstructions have given it a top speed of 80 kilometers or 49.7 miles per hour. So almost twice as fast as Usain Bolt's top running speed. And ultimately, even birds seem to have gotten a bit of that good seaway stuff. As one of the largest avian dinosaurs of the time, Magnus avis, lived in
Magnus, let's go. Banger name.
Hell Creek, with this name literally meaning big bird, but not that big bird. So dinosaurs truly had Hell Creek on lock. However, as resource heavy as Hell Creek, non-dinosaurs will no doubt spring up too, and a wide variety of interesting ones came to make the land their home. I mean, we may even have to thank it for boids overall, as the earliest known one was actually found in this formation.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, various crocodilians perused the waters, making any drink a exciting task. And then on land, you had carnivorous lizards, which reached sizes
Komodo dragons?
seldomly seen before. And one genus was the Paleosanoa, which can only be summed up as a Komodo dragon looking like carnivore, but was in reality much more related to the Gila monster, and possessed literal shark-like teeth, which helped it shred prey apart.
Look at that chin though. Sheesh. Yeah, I knew it was a Komodo dragon. I knew it.
And still, I'd rather have dealt with it than the true dragon of Hell Creek, the Inferno Dragon, or literally Dragon from Hell. Now in reality, this was not a Game of Thrones dragon, but rather a giant pterosaur, specifically an Asdarchid, that for a long time was actually thought to be Quetzalcoatlus, but is now recognized as a distinct genus. And in life, it had a wingspan of about...
Why is his neck so long? Imagine the bone structure for that neck. Holy moly. I thought it was Quetzalcoatl, but I guess that's different.
4.2 meters or 14 feet, which is giant for a pterosaur, or really anything for that matter. And yet its true strength was not from its wingspan, but rather from its height. You see, while standing on its knuckles, it would have been able to easily peer straight over your head, and was equipped with its own titanic noggin that sported a pointy, sharp, long beak. And opposed to most pterosaurs who normally hunt fish, it's hypothesized that this guy preferred to stalk the lands on foot, using its large beak to swallow prey whole or pick them apart.
So kind of like a seagull, just...
And it's generally considered to be a mesopredator, meaning if you were a small juvenile dinosaur, squamate, or mammal, you were in for a whole world of hurt. So really, the only thing I can say about this is that it seems like wherever you were, Hell Creek had you covered with nightmarish animals.
Yeah, mega seagull. I was like, this thing's kind of... It almost seems not even real. It seems like something that like a child would draw. It just seems so like... I understand it was a thing, but like, it's crazy.
But perhaps the cream of the crop is something which may confuse you, because it is a mosasaur, the Hell Creek mosasaur. Now, this may seem odd, as I said Hell Creek wasn't a seaway, and yet in 2021, researchers found a mosasaur specimen here, and a monstrous one at that, with most estimating it to be 11 meters or 36 feet long, with a few even more liberal estimates giving it numbers as high as 15 meters or 49 feet, which if was the case, meant you'd have needed a bigger boat. And some have even tentatively called it a Mosasaurus hoffmanni, but for now, at least officially, it remains indeterminate. But at this size, it's hard to see how anything was off the menu. And even an unlucky T-Rex who—
Yeah, I could see this thing attacking a T-Rex. That's why it doesn't go in the water. Quetzalcoatl, however you spell it, is the biggest pterosaur, not the only one there were a lot. Oh, okay. So I was on the right track then. Quetzalcoatlus. These names are so silly.
ventured too close to the water might have become a snack. But the bigger and more perplexing question is what it was doing in Hell Creek. For a long time, researchers knew that the environment had a lot of aquatic creatures, like fish and a bunch of turtles. Yet these were mainly found in fresh or brackish waters, and in far more inland locations than where you'd expect to find a full-fledged mosasaur to be. So this has led to some differing hypotheses, none of which are currently verified. The most extreme of which is that this behemoth represented a population that learned to coast into brackish and sometimes even freshwater from the seaway further south. And another proposed idea is that it was simply a lone individual that had accidentally found itself far more inland than it should have been. After all, while not the seaway, Hell Creek was still connected to it through its water systems. But none of these ideas are turning out to be very strong, and some have completely gotten rid of the notion that it died in brackish or fresh water, with another, more supported hypothesis being that the seaway's demise wasn't as straightforward as originally thought, meaning that you had some episodes where waters would rise again, giving Hell Creek some pretty interesting coasts. But whatever the case, I think the point remains that Hell Creek definitely earned its infamy, which thus leaves us with a final question.
I would say those things are kind of cool looking. Dyslexia can't handle down names. I don't even have dyslexia and I can't spell them. Don't worry, dolphins, you're good. Yeah, this is a funky. Okay, all right, last one. This is the last part.
And that is, how do you fix a place where virtually every animal has become legendary enough to obtain icon status? Well, it turns out that you give it a good old factory reset by lobbing a giant space rock at it. Thanks for watching, and until—
Well, yeah, I guess that's one way of dealing with it. I thought he was going to hit us with, and there's something really tiny that deleted all of them, Lamel. Yeah, well, okay. That was a thing. I learned a lot of dinosaur stuff. Let's go to, here. Okay, I'm just going to close the video. We're good. Holy, all right. I don't know if I can react to much of that because it's just a lot of information that's just like new. It was interesting, and I think I would watch it in my own time, but I don't know if I would watch that like regularly, if that makes sense. The most recent one I watched. It was just a lot of information that was like, yep, cool. Yeah, okay, I could see that, you know what I mean? But we'll see. But I'm gonna go wrap it up here. Appreciate you all hanging out with me. I will release some YouTube videos from older things that I haven't posted yet. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you tomorrow on Twitch. Yeah, he's very educational. Yeah, it's just hard to like really react to because it's a lot of new information that I've honestly never heard before. So it's a lot to head on to it. But I will be on Twitch tomorrow. No idea what we're playing yet, but thank you for hanging out with me. Hope you have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you soon. Bye, chat. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye.